icon. Hadn't realised.
Hello, guys. We're live. What's up?
Hello. That was good timing.
Hello.
Oh, we're
Hello,
live as well.
Look at this. Look at everyone with the sunglasses. I don't have any sunglasses. You could have told me. Where was the memo?
You told us to wear them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone got their swag on right now, like a boss, apart from me. Ooh,
Listen, we're all very intoxicated on certain types of drugs, so we don't want to show our eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Good stuff. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Asylum. Welcome to episode 3. Tonight on the show, we have the wonderful, the talented SuperMacbrothersRyan. Woo! Woo! We have brand new first-time virgin Edisontrent. Woo!
Hey, guys.
We have old head in Soldotcreate.
You call me fucking
Round of
old.
applause. Yeah, he's been around for ages. And we have the wonderful Moist Noodle, looking fabulous as always, darling.
It's me, Moist Noodle.
Looking great. So welcome everyone to the Asylum. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to another week of StarCitzien. And we have all just, I imagine, all been, if anyone's been reading or watching or whatever the latest drop from Call the Devs, we are all, well, I am particularly
No, I need to host this shit, do I?
piss ass mood because I've now found out that 3.1 will not be holding spaceships. So you'll have to forgive a little bit of
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you using the Streamlabs integrated OBS?
What do you mean?
Or is it Twitch again? You're still hosting someone.
I should be hosting anybody.
Hey?
Wait, what?
On my screen,
No,
you're
he's
still
not.
hosting someone.
It's
Your
not. That's your stream.
Hosting.
You're probably hosting someone else.
Oh, no, there we go. Oh, it's a little bit of madness in the top, and underneath it it's hosting this person that I've never seen before.
Moist, just resubs. Thank you, buddy.
No worries,
Look
mate.
at that with the resub. Very nice. You have not seen or not heard yet. What's that?
Shit. Sorry, I'm responding to someone on Discord. What an idiot. Oh, no. Sorry, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm responding to Nasty. That's all right. I've not lost it yet. Not like so.
No problem. So we'll just go around. We'll just go around, just see what everyone's been up to this week, in the world of what they've been up to, if they've been well, sick, whatever, what they've been up to in StarCitzien, how they found StarCitzien this week, and then you just give us kind of a lowdown on what games you've been playing, all that kind of good stuff. What's up?
I have an otherworldly glow.
Oh, have you weird?
Yeah,
You've got some nice lighting, Moist.
Thank you,
Oh,
my friend.
thank
Those lights were £30 each.
All right.
Worth
Mac,
it.
Well worth it.
you do your thing. Tell us about your thing whilst I fix Moist Noodle. It's lighting.
Me,
for
you
some
say
reason.
me there?
Yeah, you tell us how we've been up to, and we'll go around clockwise. So we'll go Mac. When Mac's finished, we'll go to Edison, then Saul, and then we'll come to Moist. And by then, I'll have got Moist fixed.
Okay, cool. So this week it's Monday, so I've literally woken up, streamed, and now I'm here. Now I think at the moment it's
Since
bit-
the last podcast of the Asylum, the last, let's say
Oh,
from Monday
sorry,
to
I
Monday.
see. Good point. Yeah.
Not literally one day. Not much.
Well,
Really, just woke
this
up,
week-
had a shit. Today, I had
That
a
is
really
true.
big shit.
That is very true. It's my morning routine.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Anyway, I've worked on a new
Woke up,
series
had
of
a beer.
videos. Woke up, had a beer. Worked on some new videos, which is like a starter series, which I think at the moment it's the starter listeners trouble just sort of died a death. It's I'm sure we'll talk about that a little later, but it's kind of gone a bit stale. I've not lost interest, but I'm not as hyped as I was maybe a few days ago, a few weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to getting back onto the hype train once we get a bit more information. But just continuing on the streams, videos, giveaways. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary, really. Go on, Edison,
Nothing
you
too-
take over.
Edison, how about yourself?
Well, I pretty much started at my new job this morning, so
Hey, grats, man.
I work there, and besides that, been talking a bit to some people I know inside CIG. Got some news things, but nothing officially confirmed, of course.
It never is.
It,
You can't
it never is, but it's
you can't say
it's
stuff like
always
that.
It's always true so far. You can ask Mac.
He
Yeah,
also
true.
lost his job today.
Who, Matt?
No, Trent.
Oh, I
That's
don't have
the
a
best thing.
logo.
You lost your job.
No, I don't lost my job,
have-
man.
You have a logo. You have a logo.
And that's pretty much it.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
We're all pretty much just dying at the moment now.
Fun time, bum time.
You're a sword.
I think it's you next, Sol.
So, what are you up to?
I'm chilling.
Well done. Thank you for that.
Yes, what am I up to? No, I've been.
Wow,
I've been
this is so
working on
upbeat. Everyone that's come on this show right now is just gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is like the most upbeat, positive, banging podcast I've ever heard so far. I'm loving it so far, guys. Come on, let's pick it up. Come on, it's Monday. I know Monday's shit, but come on, let's pick it up." Matt, Sol, you've had a great day, yeah? Done some great designs.
I had a great day. I've done some designs today. I'm working on 2 new logos at the moment, and we finished some work off today. Yeah, just been busy with work, to be honest. Last week it's been a bit of a mad one.
Yeah,
I've not been well at the beginning of last week, so I had to postpone some work as well.
Ah, okay. So for anyone that doesn't know, obviously Soldotcreate, he basically, as his name dictates, you pretty much work with the gaming community now, really. It's pretty much Twitch, you design all the layouts.
I've ventured into YouTube since shortly as well, so
oh, nice.
I have a couple of customers from YouTube now as well that I'm doing art for.
Sounds good.
It's good, yeah. Not a lot of people can say that, I think.
Sounds good.
Watching Twitch streams and convincing people that they need to buy my shit. Basically.
Well, the thing is word of mouth spreads. I mean, like, I like a lot of things. Is like I noticed Paul from the Astropub has been tweeting a lot about artists, inconsistent artists. I mean, one of the things is there's plenty of great artists out there, but there are plenty of artists who are super expensive and unreliable. And there are other ones who are really dirt cheap and really unreliable. And it's like trying to find that perfect balance between affordable artists and a reliable and with the reliability as well, so you know that you're going to get your shit within the time frame you need. Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about streaming, you don't want to wait 4 months or 2 months before you get your layout. You want to be getting, you're excited to be a new streamer, or maybe you're an established streamer. You want to get that look, get yourself freshened up. So you don't want to be waiting months before you get your artwork. You want to realistically get it fairly quickly. So within reason, because art does take a little bit of time.
Create, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So if you are interested, definitely check out Sol. Let me grab your web page. You
I get people asking me for help with artwork all the time. I'm just like, nope, because I know it'll take me like, you might get it this time next year, maybe.
Yeah, I'll get to it. Whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
There we are.
Finished off the few last week, by the way. The few stuff was finished last week.
Nice.
Yeah, his stuff's looking cool.
New streamer. If anyone's never checked out the few, go check out the few. Right then, anything else, Sol?
Not really, to be honest. I had to put the gaming on the back burner a bit because I've been so busy. Played a bit of Gold Rush, the game.
How'd you find that?
They brought out a new DLC. I'm into those quirky games, flight simulators, simulation games, truck simulator, farming simulator, shower with your dad simulator, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's all those things that
I think secretly deep inside we're all into simulators, aren't we? Train simulator. Come on, yes.
We all like one
exciting way of trains.
We all like one
simulator. Is a bit boring though.
Own up to what's your favorite simulator? What's your favorite simulator at the moment? Yeah.
P3D.
Who?
P3D.
Lockheed Martin's
P3D.
P3D.
Is this like a dodgy porn? Is this a dodgy porn?
No. It's so Lockheed Martin, which is an aircraft manufacturer, bought flight simulators. What do you call it? Code or whatever, and the
source code, I believe.
Resource code, and they continued going on that and made it a proper simulator that you normally can only buy if you're an academic pilot or at least something like that. So you have to.
They should have renamed that.
So it's pretty much the same software as that the pilots used to train.
Basically, yeah, you'll find it in a lot of the simulators and stuff are normally running prepared. Yeah.
So that's your shit then. That's your favorite simulator.
Oh, I love that.
That's his jam.
I do that on VATSIM as well. So I'm talking to real life people that are doing air traffic control. Okay. Only air traffic control. So they are, for example, in the area of Manchester or.
People have way too much time, don't they?
A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, is actually in the virtual Red Arrows, like the official team. They're actually sponsored by Thrustmaster,
Nice.
And when he doesn't do that, all he does is air traffic controlling. That is it. Nothing else.
And they're freaking professional as well. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mind
That would
blows.
really be
It's
nothing
like-
for me.
I'll basically fly.
I would be
an
just
Airbus,
put it down, man.
I just fly an Airbus A320.
We're kind of playing Space Trucker, aren't we? Which is a simulator these days, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's what we're playing. But
The
okay,
A320 is
with
my favorite as well, by
spaceships.
the way. Sold off.
is it? You're the same. You're the same.
Yeah.
I have a flat one, not the aerospace
But
one, by
things
the way.
like, I know it's really sad, but Farming Simulator and Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator, I really love those games. They're sort of like, they take too long, but you can always speed it up. But I do enjoy those sort of games, and it's so I haven't played them in a while. But when you sit down, when you're in the frame of mind to play a simulator, and you sit there and you're like, this is all I want in life right now. This is
If I
beautiful.
need to chill out, I'll play Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator. The only problem is when you're streaming, you almost always end up in a hedge.
Yes, because you're reading that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
Mac doesn't need to reach stream for
that
that,
was
man.
expensive.
I have to be honest. My buddy Ramt, who's also my mod, he's even crazier on the simulators, and he's doing pretty well with streaming it. He's bringing out some great content and that sort of things. But I couldn't stream the flight sim because I'm too deep in it, man. I'm like, oh, it's
So-
great.
What's the? I've played the American trucking thingy, whatever it is, the American version of the Euro Truck Simulator, which is fun. I enjoyed it for a little bit, but then after a while, just sitting there on the road again, started to just get a little bit like.
Here's
know,
right
I-
before you continue, Madness. I need to ask you: did you really delve into the radio stations? Because that's the thing that makes it really.
I love that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like German rock radio station.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Is that is that Euro Trucker? Is it on American? Can you get the American?
American
Euro
Truck has it as well, man. But you can
Yeah.
download a mod that opens up all radio stations as well.
They're just
And that's
digital
when the
radios,
fun
aren't
starts, man.
I'll
If
have
you're
to
into
try
Isn't
that.
there
your
one station that only plays like Rammstein and stuff like that?
yeah, or you go into your 80s, you know what I mean?
I guess that's like
It's
Grand Theft
great,
Auto.
man.
That was the Grand Theft Auto radio was always awesome. I was always just like, yeah, switch the radio
Do you
around all
know?
the time. In
Do you remember
Grand
the
Theft Auto.
original Grand Theft Auto soundtrack? The one that NYP.
Ah, yeah. I used to use
Oh.
that as my opening for Twitch.
That was amazing. I've got a CD
Yeah.
of that because the actual Grand Theft Auto game on the PlayStation was a CD as well, and you could stick it in your CD player and you could play that music.
Oh, I remember that.
It's
my
incredible. We had
God.
it, we had
Yeah.
it I've still got a copy of it somewhere. It's awesome music.
Okay,
I don't even have
it's
a CD player, man, anymore.
It's just,
We digress.
simulators. Just kind of like I'm just always interested to know because like I've been playing Stardew Valley, which is like a farming kind of pixel game. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know everyone's going to be like, "Oh my, what the fuck is he doing?" But I'm playing it, and I'm like, if Star Citizen was to implement this basic game in terms of the way that you do farming and how they set up the farming in a more high-res version of it, it'd be still very enjoyable. Farming
Forbidden-
tier 0 or tier 2, whatever.
You need to
Very
play
good.
Farming Simulator, man.
Forbidden
I
Tech
know.
says
Yeah.
in chat,
Well,
I drive
yeah.
trucks for a job and have been known to come home and drive American Truck Sim for fuel and power at work.
Now
See,
that's-
I've actually heard that from a few different truck drivers, and I'm curious to know why.
Why?
Maybe-
I think they just missed the road, man. They don't want to be away from the road. They are just so conditioned to the road that without the road, they don't feel like
They're
alive.
nothing.
feel
They're
like
empty
that.
inside.
I got a friend who flies for British Airways, and he comes home and goes on Flight Simulator or goes on Prepared or X-Plane. You know what I mean?
See, I play Streamer Simulator. It's after I finish streaming.
You
I
play
love it.
YouTube Live or whatever the game is
It's-
called. What's the
yeah.
game called again? YouTube
I don't know.
Live or
Something to
something
do
like
with earn your way to be a top successful YouTuber and earn millions.
You know-
like,
that. Can I say something about that?
no.
YouTube is just destroying its own platform anyway. So everyone that's on
Yeah, no.
YouTube, go Twitch
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch
Yeah,
is the
true.
future.
or make
Um,
sure.
Died.
I'm just before we can just briefly, Edison, your favorite simulator?
My favorite simulator.
Show my dad simulator.
Officially, it used to be Freelancer, but I know that doesn't really count as a simulator. So
Not quite.
You know what?
yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but I saw you in a chat like a month ago, and I saw your name. I was like, I like this man, and I even commented on your name.
Yeah, I love the game, and that was the game that got me into Space Sims. But after that, I pretty much the X series I used to play, like X Rebirth is one of them, but I believe that was the crappy one.
You can not like. You can say simulators are shit, Madness. I fucking hate them, and I never touch them. You know, it's perfectly.
No, I don't hate them. I actually like ship simulators. I used to have a really good one.
Well, like
I do wish there was a good ship simulator out now.
They're
Like
working on one, by the way.
I have a
boat
really good one
simulator.
somewhere.
They're working on a new one, yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone ever seen?
Flag, man. That's a good ship simulator. That's the only good thing about the game. The ships.
What's that?
Sorry, someone's just sent me something freaking hilarious. They sent me a dad dating simulator game.
Yeah,
Oh,
there is a
that
dad
game
dating
was
simulator
hilarious.
game, by the way.
Wow.
There is a dad dating. I've seen some people play it on Twitch.
I got a game
one
called Party something or other. It's like I thought it looked quite a bit naughty. It's a bit funny. I can't really stream it, but yeah, you go to a party and you kind of have to like kind of basically chat up the birds and figure out how to get them into bed.
Oh,
It's
I've seen someone play.
it's quite funny.
And there's a guy in the living room who's really angry and starts fighting with you.
Doesn't want to give you booze, but you know what? You got to get the booze to get the girls.
Chases the other guy around, the drunk guy, chases him around the house. Have you ever seen that My Summer
So
Cat?
bad.
I love My Summer Car. It's
That
so
was
good.
Awesome.
No.
So good.
I was
I struggled.
I learned things about cars.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea about that.
I learned I should not fucking drive them. That's what I learned.
So, in this,
I learned that I
in
shouldn't
this-
build them. I broke the windscreen in a second. I literally picked up something, smashed the windscreen. I was like, oh.
I spent a week building that car and smashed it up literally in about 2 minutes flat.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Oh.
Pretty much.
Can you pull a Bill Cosby on someone in that dad simulator
Husbands.
game? Yeah.
It's hilarious.
How does that work?
The games
Drug
we
'em.
play. The games we play. So, yes, you did tune into us talking about Star. We are going to talk about Star Citizen at some point. We'll get to the space.
It's been a quiet week.
game.
We went on one of our
it has been
tangents again.
a reasonably quiet week. So,
What have you done this week, Madness?
Yeah.
oh, actually,
Yeah.
well, first of all, you probably noticed Miserable's not with us this evening. He's spending
not with us
quality
anymore.
time with his. Yeah, he's not with us anymore. He's not with us this evening. He's
Sadly, we
spending
have
time
to
with
say
his
goodbye.
lady. His lady's got to go in for an operation, so I've told him that he should not be on the podcast and should be spending time with his woman. So he's going to be. He'll be doing
he
that.
knows
Bless him. So
stream from a hospital, right?
they've got those machines. You have to keep putting pound coins in to keep the internet going there. That's the only problem in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Sounds like a him problem to me, doesn't it?
It's like, oh my god.
Talking
Well,
about
I've done it-
VR, I discovered that they have porn in VR now as well, man.
That's pretty much why it was
Wait,
probably
you just
invented.
discovered that? You didn't know that yet?
That was the first thing I did when I had my
That was the
DK2.
first thing in
Yeah,
VR that existed, man.
The first
Listen,
thing
I
I
only have one of these things. How do you call them again? With the infrared, where you move your
track that.
Yeah,
Track
I don't like this whole thing around my face. So I watch
You
porn the
will.
old school way. Which is
You
just a
will.
flat fucking screen. You know what I mean?
Just wait till they get the sex bots to even do that, and then you put on the VR.
I don't know. I just think
Then
it's
there's
gonna
no
lead
more
to-
reason for women.
I think it's just going to lead to more sadness though, because you'll just be kind of like
Or guys.
you put the virtual thing on, and you'll kind of look down, and you'll be like, yeah, well, yeah, and then you just turn and be like, oh no, yeah, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh.
Yeah, you think it feels good, and then you realise it's your dog.
And you're like,
Oh, can you not while my puppy sat between my legs? It's not something I needed.
what's happening?
Can I say one thing? At
Okay,
least if you
don't-
take
don't
these
dive
glasses off, not someone is going to say to you, "Can you take out the garbage today?" You know. What
I
I
can
mean?
just, I
So
can
it's
see Liz
like-
right now going.
I think
sitting at home
Edison
going, "Roll on,
is
madness,
quite right
roll
there.
on."
This thing is perfect.
I can see Miz. This is no Mrs. here to censor me. He's like, I can just feel him now going, okay, now we move on, madness. Now we move on, quick, move on. Next topic of conversation. Okay, so we're going to talk very quickly about the fact that 3.1 will not have ships in it. It seems.
Oh, what a cute
They will
dog.
have ships in it. The ships will be in it.
Yeah, but not
buy.
to buy with AUEC.
Yeah, you just won't be able
sorry.
to buy them.
Now.
Yeah, we're not be able to buy now because that was originally Aaron said last year in an interview with Thingy. He said 3.0. Then he was corrected by Disco to say 3.1, and then now we're in 3.1. And guess what? Lo and behold, yet again, us purchasing ships is being pushed back
Wait, you're in
it is-
3.1?
Board Game
it
is
is
going to
very
edit his
annoying.
video.
Listen, it is very annoying, but Aaron did say they hope to get it in 3.1. He didn't say it was going
Something
to be
to bear
in
in
3.1.
mind as well, however, is that this was prior to the quarterly release schedule. So
Yes, true. Yeah, I mean it is kind of shit that we're not going to be able to buy games in 3.1, but it turns out 3.1 is literally
Buy
just
games. You can buy
optimizing.
games any day.
You know,
man.
I fucking play ships.
They've
So
stripped
it
all
does
the
suck.
ships.
It really does suck. But it was never confirmed. It was always just that we are hoping to.
Can I just say something? After everyone, most of us supporting this game for 5 years, can we stop listening to what fucking Aaron Roberts and Chris Roberts say and just see what fucking happens instead of keeping them on their word? Because they're never fucking keeping to it and sticking to it anyway. So let's just stop moaning about the fact that he said this there, he said this there. I don't give a fuck. I'll see what comes in 3.1. If it doesn't come in 3.1, it will come in 3.2, 3.3, 4.6, 7.8, or 29.9. I don't give a fuck. It will come there anyway at some point. You know what I mean?
I couldn't disagree with you more. If we did that, we'd have a terrible. We could just. What does it matter if anyone says anything any time? So
we know by now, man, is that they're mostly not sticking to what they say.
But it's not good enough. I don't care. It's not good enough. Then don't say anything. Then don't say anything.
Aaron said it in the situation. He didn't say it as a guarantee. He was just like, well, we're hoping to get it in for 3.9, and Lando was like, "Oh, 3.9."
I'm just happy that they're dropping this news now and managing expectations rather than leave it until it's later, and then everyone's going to be even more pissed off.
Exactly.
You know.
This is
like, hang on.
I always go with the thing is that they've fucked up. This is where I always think they could save face so much easier rather than just saying you're not getting anything. They could then come out of the doors and say, but guess what, guys? When 3.1 does drop, we're going to enable you all to have ships for a month of these kind and give us all access to a certain variety, because there's no reason. They've done it before. They've given us access to all the ships. So why not just give us access? Everybody that's new, if you come on, if you're a new person, you're not stuck within a fucking Aurora for ages and then given a bloody size 9 Retaliator, which has got no cargo space for a cargo sim. They give you access to all the ships, or they give you access to a selection. And I am very salty about that.
There are better ways.
And I just go, look, they could just save.
Like,
that's great. Just make an announcement. It's a 5 seconds thing. And there's another thing that pisses. I was thinking there's little things that annoy me. And I'm just getting out of the way now, then we can get onto the good stuff. But the other thing that that really gets me salty is the free flight weekend information. Why can't they can tell us a timetable of other things? Why can't they just give us a fucking timetable through the month, through the year that says on this date, this is when the free flight's going to be. When this date, and then that way all year we can then, when we are streamers, can say to people that are interested in the game, guess what? In 3 days' time, more than likely, they might move it around a day or two if they needed to because of certain patches and stuff. But generally, this is the time frame that it's going to come out. I don't understand why they can't do that.
Listen, they've been doing that for 5 years like this. We're not living in the Twilight Zone, are we?
You know?
That's why it's not a big deal whether they tell us when a free flight is or not. You know, it's when it happens, we're like, oh, by the way, now it's a good. It kind of gives you something to talk about. Obviously, if we had dates for everything, it would be an ideal world for Star Citizen backers, but that's not going to happen. I don't know what determines for free flight weekends. I guess it would be good if we knew when it was coming, but then they don't. That would just people would just. I don't know. I just think if it would be cool if we knew when free flights were coming, because then it gives people a more opportunist time to get in and try the game before they buy. But I think you're just bitching about something so small, you know, like
that's what Madness likes to do. But
that's my little bit. That's just a little. No,
we're not getting shit. Like, fine, yeah, I can understand that.
It's like
a
frustrating.
Free flights coming in,
but the free flights are kind of. I get a lot, but I see a lot of people like when I'm on the forums and stuff. That question, and when I'm playing as well, when I'm talking to people and I say to them, you know, oh, but guess what? There's a free flight coming up. You know, or there'll be a free flight at some point if you're interested in the game. But I can't give them the information that they would so desperately want to give. And that's
you're on the wrong forum, man. You need to go Reddit, man. That's where all. I was
on Reddit and on Spectrum. I'm looking at it's a steady question that does tend to get asked. It's like, when is the next free flight?
I have to agree with you, Madness, in a certain way, but what I think they're doing and why it's taking longer, and it's just a speculation, it's not just something that I think they're doing. They're obviously thinking, how are we going to implement this without reducing ship sales? Because there will be a...
They are not.
There will be there will be a part in them that says, okay, we still want to keep selling these ships. So how can we implement this and give people an impulse to buy the ship that we give them for a certain period? So they're probably overthinking, okay, how are we going to do this? Huh?
Loaner ships.
Or shit. That's the first thing. That's something that I want to say. That's the first thing that they need to rethink, their current loaner ships. But they recently redid it, and I still don't think it's up to where it should be. But it's probably something they'll.
No, but I mean, like for in the positioned universe, just give people the ability to, let's say for.
You mean like what we do with Rec for 7 days, or for 14 days, or for whatever?
The same way.
Yeah.
That way you will still sell the ships. People can also fly the ships, because that is something which I noticed. Many of my friends are like, yeah, that ship looks nice, but I have no idea how it flies, and it's in game already. So they asked me to spawn it for them.
That's still due to change all the time anyway, Edison, because I don't. What we have now are not confirmed flight models, are they? Yeah.
I agree, but it's still a big part of ships. If someone will buy a ship.
I have to agree with here on that. It's kind of like if they gave us the option to if they gave us the option to rent ships, like they can go about this differently, which would be a lot better. So people can have access to other ships. For the sake of 3.0, if you've got just an Aurora, which I think the majority of people probably will have, they cannot. Half the missions are void to them because they cannot put stuff in the ship. So giving them access to at least a loaner ship that has the capability of doing all the missions, and maybe swapping it out. But then obviously you're sort of jumping into the subscriber things where they get a ship per month, to try out. I think they will actually do better in sales if they did allow people to use ships up until renting or whatever, because then they'll be able to try them, like you say, and decide whether or not it's the ship for them. Because, the flight model isn't ready, but it's close in a way to tell how a ship feels. And if you were thinking about buying a freelancer and you are not able to try one, giving them the option to actually play with one and jump in one would actually more encourage them to buy. So I think they could handle it a lot better than what they are doing.
Moist, we need to have a chat after the show, because I think Nasty B has a good thing going there. We could start up a male grooming salon,
I think, my hair today is just awful. I've had such a shit day at work. I just can't do anything with my hair. Don't judge me, anyone. I'm sorry.
It looks really good.
It does look cool.
It looks good, yeah.
I wish my hair looked that cool, man.
Well, I tell you what. Are you coming to BritainCon?
No, man. That's too far from me. Unfortunately.
Well, that ended that conversation. Thanks.
It didn't hear that.
I don't have the money, man. I'm poor. I spend all my money on the ships to try them.
We're all poor. We all understand the pain.
Yeah.
That's why I drink.
I'm very rich. I have a lot of friends
in high places.
Talking about drink, tonight I am drinking the glorious Schlur again this evening. Keeping my
saying a word.
Keeping
myself sponsored by this shit. You need to tell that in Twitch. It's in the terms of service, right? If you're sponsored by something, you need to
Cujo Rabadog was actually asking what whiskey I'm drinking this evening, and just to quickly point out, this came out in 2002. It's actually celebrating 50 years of the Queen and its bells, limited edition.
Did you put piss in that and then put it on the bottle?
It's actually 50 years of the Queen.
The Queen!
And it came out in 2002, and it was sat in my granddad's cupboard ever since.
Is the granddad now that you've stolen his whiskey?
Maybe.
Yeah,
He's going to whiskey the water and put it back, and he won't even know. He's saving it for a special occasion.
We're saving it for when someone dies and he needs to get.
Yeah, he's just there waiting to tip the toast to my grandmother, after she dies, and it's just some water with tea in it.
Yeah. What is this? I bet he knows exactly who's stolen it, though.
So back to StarCitzien, to keep us on topic. The Crytek law.
Madness.
Crytek.
Why are you doing this to us, man? Come on.
Because we have to. Because I have to keep it on topic.
You were the one that changed the topic in the first place by talking about your Schlur.
We'll come back to the Schlur. We'll come back to the booze. We'll pace the booze. We'll filter the booze through the show. It's fine. Okay, go on, Edson. What are you drinking?
What? Oh, yeah.
Massive bottle
Well, since I need to work tomorrow, I just have one beer.
One beer, yeah.
That's one massive beer, my friend.
Either you're a very small man, or that's a very big bottle of beer.
I'll just have one beer, hun. Don't worry about it.
I am not very big, but this bottle is also very large.
Okay, cool.
He's been pulling out the accessories all freaking evening. I'm waiting till he's going to pull out one of these pink dragon dildos underneath his bed and is going to
That's,
you know.
That's
I
I'll go
don't
get
have
mine
any
if you
pink
want.
dragon dildos. I have something else, but
No, don't pull out the
don't be
puppet.
dragging anything.
Leave the puppet in the cupboard. No.
Back
Don't
to
show us the
Star
dragon dildo. Okay, that's not a dragon dildo.
Air rifle.
It's a
I
BB
thought he
gun.
was going to pull out some kind of live sex puppet out of the cupboard, man. I was.
Yeah. No,
I don't have any sex puppets, man.
No guns on the stream, boys.
I have a number
Sorry.
for that.
Listen,
you
this
can't,
ban.
you
It's
can't
a
show
ban.
any weapons on stream.
You can't show any weapons on stream, boys.
I'll show you my weapon on stream.
Not allowed to show anything like
There
that.
he goes.
Let's get back to StarCitzien before I have to start getting angry and they'll want to see me when I get angry.
Sorry,
StarCitzien,
Dad.
we're going. Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
he's too much in Miserable's role at the moment. He's too much miserable.
I'm having.
today.
It's a blending effect.
He's not
It's blending
drunk
into
enough.
the- I know, this is the truth. No,
Should we
Crytek,
keep
come
trying
back.
to digress away from StarCitzien and just
Just for fun to see me watch me start developing a Twitch. My right ear, just like
That's StarCitzien.
that's it, rage. Just like throw everything off the table, then just like delete everything. Then screen goes.
I wonder how
funny.
many people talking to StarCitzien have gained twitches, like facial twitches and things,
Oh, dude.
from the StarCitzien, from spending too much, from waiting too long, and
Oh. Do you
Can
know
I
what?
ask a question, actually?
Okay, we can. Yeah, go
Can
for
you
it.
fill in the question form for us, Mike? instead
Yeah,
of,
Shall I?
Exclamation
Actually,
question.
that's a good point. Good prompt there, though, boys. Question time, guys. Exclamation question.
Question time. That makes me
exclamation
think of
question
Rachel
for
Riley.
later. Mac's going to be reading them out, so make them as obscure and crazy as possible because Mac's going to try and read out the questions later.
I
so
will control
some
this
fun.
perfectly. Oh, we have one.
Whoa.
Ooh.
So I'm
Yeah,
curious,
so-
do you guys, when you're talking to normies, you know, people
To
who
who?
aren't normies, you know, people who aren't
normies.
Star Citizen, you know,
Yes, continue.
whenever you mention Star Citizen, do you feel a little like pit of shame deep down in your belly, or do you like feel a little bit nervous? Because sometimes I feel a bit nervous about mentioning Star Citizen because it's such a polarizing topic. I am actually leaning, by the way. Sorry, it's my.
I like-
I just had to move you back to the middle. I was like, you keep leaning over.
Sliding backwards.
Honestly, tonight everyone's just they're trying to trigger me. It's not going to happen, boys. It's not gonna happen.
I like seeing the response because sometimes in Battlefield, I'll jump in and when I'm waiting for it to load or whatever, if I've died, very rarely, but I will always sort of say, any Star Citizens in the house? And then I'll just wait for the response because sometimes you do get like, that game's never happening. It's a scam. And it's like, oh, interesting. So you sort of see what their thought is. But like my friends' family, literally, I've stopped talking to them about Star Citizen because 5 years I've been droning on about the game and they've been like,
Is it out yet?
Is it done?
Finish it. How much money have
They
you
do
spent
not-
on this? It's not
they
even
never
finished
asked
yet.
me that though. Yeah, so 20 quid. But no, it's like my immediate group just have no interest at all. They don't care. As long as I'm happy, that's all they care about. They don't even care about that. That's a lie. They don't care if I'm happy.
I don't care if you're happy.
No, nobody does.
Oh,
I care. I dream.
I care a bit.
I
dream of my happy
dream.
I just want to get to carry on. Mac was talking about Star Citizen, so that's all I care about. I'm happy.
Let's get back to Star Citizen. Come on, back to Star Citizen.
Let's talk briefly about the Crytek's Return and how it's been just basically kaboshed again almost instantaneously by the lawyer of Mr. French. Is just basically, I call him Mr. French. He just basically shredded it again. He was actually getting angry. You could actually see him. He was developing a Twitch as well, like with it. Just like it's I don't understand. I mean, personally,
It's funny.
I hope it gets squashed or they can deal with some sort of settlement pretty quickly. I'm like, just get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I'm bored of it
I don't want it
now.
to drag on. Yeah, exactly. I'm
We
bored of it.
need
Genuinely
the
bored.
muck or the meme of Chris Roberts going, "Yeah, we know."
Yeah.
Or this is bullshit, and just applying.
Look at the GLA.
it.
Look at the GLA.
Yeah.
Look at the
Yeah, but the
GLA
funny
Panda
thing is,
video.
even Crytek, in their own defense, is disputing their own fucking claims. First, they say like we only give them the license for one game, so that game needs to have CryEngine on it, and then you get the second part.
Do you know what
where
it
they
really?
are complaining that Squadron 42 is made on Lumberyard, and
You know what it reminds me of? It
It's
reminds me of, you know, when you have there's 2 or 3 of you in a group having a conversation, and there's one person that just doesn't agree and they don't understand anything. And at first, it's quite
relate
funny.
to
And
that.
you laugh
Yeah,
along,
it
but
really
then
looks
they
like
just
it's
keep
quite
hammering
that way.
home their point, and it just gets boring really quickly. But they're still wrong.
yeah,
That's
we
kind of
know
what it
that,
feels
yeah.
like at the moment.
Very
actually, it reminds
recognizable.
me of a console peasant, and I mean peasant in the quotes, like someone who will utterly defend a console. Like a console is the best thing ever, even if a console is objectively worse.
I
they
mean,
will
the
say,
console is
"No,
good.
30 is better than 40.
If you've got a table that's one leg is a bit lopsided, stick a PlayStation under it, and it balances it perfectly, and it's quite sturdy for that. Other than that,
You can also do that with a PC. You have small form factor PCs.
That's true. That's completely void the whole console argument. Table stand. Just get a small PC, and you can still hook it up and play it. It'll still work.
But do you know what you
just
can
get
do
the
with a
fucking table
PC?
fixed,
Play
didn't you?
Star Citizen.
Sorry, a Star Citizen PC to keep it in the realm of.
Keep
Have
it
you
in the
made
realms
him
of
yet?
Star
Something
Citizen.
that runs Star
To
Citizen.
be fair, that's the most often question that I get. When is it coming to console?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
2042.
Never.
No, 2042. By that time, even consoles will be able to run it. But then they get the version that we now have.
It'll be on your iPad. iPad 29, whatever it was, you'll be able to run it on your iPad. You'll be like, how the hell is this possible? Okay, so here's a question for you guys. Here's something I noticed. The one thing about the whole thing I quite liked about the Crytek and the lawsuit was seeing Chris Roberts writing. I don't know if you guys have seen his signature.
I could write
You
like
have a
that
weird
when I was
fucking
in school.
foundation.
and that was my thing. It's like I'm just gonna bring it.
I
Across.
bet it's illegible.
It's like a child's written.
I don't want to take the mick out of him for it though, because you know it's.
Didn't even get the date
To be
right.
fair, he
Oh,
has
hang on, wrong
improved. He has improved his handwriting since then. I have
But
physical
yeah, his
proof.
argument
I'm gonna
would
be writing
be,
some dodgy checks.
I
That's what
can
I'm
still
saying.
earn nearly $200 million.
Yeah.
I don't care. He had that air of I just don't give a fuck, you know. It's like,
C-E, how do you spell O?
And for all you know, Madness, you're taking the piss, right? He might have actually asked one of his children to write that for him, and you're taking the piss out of some child's handwriting.
I'm happy to take the piss out of children. There's no mercy. It's absolutely fine. Some
He's
children
like-
need to have the piss taken out of them. They need to learn the harsh realities of the world and not be kept in a bubble of parenthood. Your kid is terrible at singing. Tell them that now,
This
so that they
man-
never
this
embarrass
man
themselves
that-
live on a chat show.
This man that you claim that can't write has probably more money than all of us together.
Yeah,
If
I
you
love how
think
his
that
date
having
is.
money is just a way of it's just a keeping score. It doesn't mean success.
His date is 10, 11,
Yeah,
6,
I'm sorry, but he
20B.
has a fucking hot wife. And he has money. And he's making his dream game. And he has his own dream job. I think he's winning.
Yep.
That man wins at life.
And to be
Not
fair,
at- not
how
at
often do
writing,
you
though.
write?
I'd love to
I'll
see him
say
write on
now, right?
chalkboard.
I've been pat testing all day, right? I've lost count of how many of those tiny little stickers I've had to write. By the end of that, that's what my handwriting looked like.
Just a scribble.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
haven't written anything down at work for like the past 4 years except a little accept sign.
It only started working yesterday.
I write all the time. I write all the time. That's my handwriting. I can't complain too much.
Can I say something? This
It's
man
worse.
is so
Can't-
smart that he got all us dumbos investing money in a game that wasn't out yet.
Yeah,
It's a scam. We all know
it
it's
is a scam. He got us.
He's probably living on Mars by the time this comes out.
And we're there going like, yeah, but your handwriting sucks, dickhead.
Yeah,
Small
you know
wins,
what?
small wins.
You know what he
boys. It's all
says?
about the small wins.
You know what he says?
Yeah.
Fuck you all.
He just does that.
Yeah. Wankers.
Whatever. Write the check.
I got your money.
So here's the thing then, right? Okay, so if you had 350 quid and you're concierge and you lived in America, would you, and you have the maybe chance to go to this dinner with Chris Roberts and I don't know, what's an American diner besides McDonald's?
Ed's Diner. Is that American or is it like one of those fake Americans?
I don't think
Ed's Diner. We're all Europeans here. We need an American to be able to say, like a Panda Express or something. That's where he's taking them. That's for 350 quid, taking them to a Panda Express in America.
You can buy pandas.
I thought it was in their actually office though. It's not. They're not going out.
Maybe they're ordering it in. It could be ordering in a Panda Express from the motorway to be delivered.
Can I get
all those pizzas? All those pizzas that idiots like me send to the developers, they're just going to have a pile of them. Here we are, help yourself.
Oh god, Dunkin' Donuts.
I would pay 350 quid for that. I would.
Is it me or can no one hear
maybe, though.
Edison for some reason?
Can what?
Sorry, I muted my
There
mic.
you go.
Oh.
I was like,
Bro.
So Mac, you would, with even knowing it's only a maybe that you might meet Chris Roberts, and you've already done it.
It's not a case of meeting Chris Roberts. It's to me, the game is currently everyone's situation is different. To me, the game is my life. This is what I do daily. So to me, going out and meeting, I've met Chris Roberts. It's not that I would go to meet him. It's to go to meet friends that I only get to see at these events. So to me, it's worth it just for the sake of saying I attended it, feeling like being there and enjoying it and seeing everyone. And that to me is worth it. But yeah, if obviously circumstance has to be in a situation where 350 quid to me is nothing and I could afford it. If I couldn't, no.
Well, you'd have to pay like us. If it was from where we are now, you're talking 1,000 quid for a flight, 350 plus your hotel for, it's a huge expense. It's reality for most people. That's out of the realms of kind of unachievable thing, but just for such a short space of time. You could turn it into a holiday, obviously, if you planned it. You could say, well, I'll do that for a few days.
But you are looking way over $1,000, aren't you?
Yeah. It's not 350 for
you could go to the hookers.
It's a hell of a lot more money. You could possibly do it on a budget. Have to take like maybe a ferry. Kind of just to go over. Take a month off work.
They still use those to go to the US?
They do. They go via Antarctic. You have to do a bit of kind of fishing on the way. Kind of work on the boats for a bit.
Be a crab fisherman.
Deadly Catch on the Discovery as you go around the world. Deadliest Catch is an awesome show. Go check it out if you've never watched it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Sponsorship.
Hang on.
Of course, we're sponsored.
That's something to do with Tinder. That sounds like
in comes the DVD.
Yeah, that would be an amazing sponsorship. I know this is so irrelevant, guys, but please check out Come Fish With Me or whatever the fuck it's called.
This show is sponsored by the Moist
This is why Miz is needed. He keeps everything on the rail track. I'm just as bad as you, going off
Will
track.
we see fishing in Star Citizen?
That's
Yes.
a good point,
Oh my
actually.
God.
I hope so.
Whale fishing.
Yeah, Chris Roberts said that 3 years ago.
Who wants fishing in Star Citizen? In chat, just say yes or no.
I love fishing in any game.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yes, I want it in game, but I would not want it right now in game. First, get the ships in, get the cargo in, the other mechanics, and way down the line, put in fishing. Fine, but please.
Fishing from a dragonfly. What could possibly go wrong?
You get something like a great white shark, only then bigger, from below you, and you just disappear.
You end up in the atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah. Space whale fishing. I've hooked something. The fuck?
Plenty of fishing.
Plenty of fishing, yeah.
Fishing. No, I like the idea of that. I mean, it reminds me of Red Dwarf. I don't know if anyone here watches
What
a TV
about
show
Tinder
called
in
Red Dwarf.
space or Grindr in space? You know
yeah.
what I mean?
We need an app. We need a Grindr app for
Hook up
movie
with a
glass.
jam.
Just saying.
Fuck for in game, man. Just make it for outside of the game, like a Star Citizen dating app. Someone is gonna make it.
Genius idea. Why has nobody thought of this before?
And I swear, if you're gay and a
have
guy,
a lot more chance.
you
Probably
probably
than
have
three
like
men.
700 matches within a day.
Probably. I don't know.
If you're straight, well, the fishing
It's a bit
pool is a
harder.
bit smaller.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was going to say, do you know what would be funny though? If they did actually introduce Grindr in 2.6, when you go through the faces, it would have been the same one. You'd be like, no,
Nope,
no,
nope.
no, 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 no.
What's with this stupid condom on my head?
God damn it! No.
At least they're prepared.
It's the same guy every time. I swear, honestly. You start drawing on them.
If they then also put them in alphabetical order, then you get first Alex, Alex1, Alex2.
Alex 69.
Yeah, all the way up to 69.
He sounds interesting.
Interesting photo, that one.
Mm.
69, dude. Oh, I want to do the Bill and Ted thing, but never mind.
Good try.
We won't try and do that. I have to be feeling it as a 17-year-old. Unfortunately, when you get to my age, it's like you kind of try and you suddenly immediately regret as you're doing it. Like it's not going to work.
Those things are not
Question. Okay, so here's my thing. T-shirts, because you guys are wearing the T-shirts now, which is quite a good thing. I wanted to say you got the T-shirts on now. Can I ask you how much you have to pay for shipping for those?
Oh, I can't remember, but I've noticed shipping has now gone fucking sky high. I wanted the mouse mat and I wanted the version 3 of whatever it was, the
new one.
The new one. And it's like you're looking at nearly the same price in shipping. There's no way I can pay for that.
It's embarrassing, and I saw it the other day because I was looking at the T-shirts and stuff, and I was just like, oh, maybe I'll get a T-shirt. I don't have a T-shirt. It'd be nice to have one. And then I was like, I'm not paying the same price as the T-shirt to get it shipped. What the fuck?
I don't understand why they don't just use a company like Redbubble or like one of those T-shirt manufacturers.
Amazon,
yeah,
like, there's like.
The thing is, for Amazon, that they have to have printed all of those T-shirts and ship them, and it just wouldn't work out economical. But if you just use a company like Redbubble, they will print it at the local printers wherever. I don't know whether they have one main printing workshop and then ship them from there. But whenever I order anything from Redbubble, it always normally arrives within 7 days, and it's really, really cheap to ship. So
yeah, I mean, I'm the same with you on that one. Like, they can do. They could do it as well. Connect with the community. They could make the community come up with like 100 T-shirts, say, for example, designs, and then they could then approve. We approve the ones, our favorite ones, or they could do 1,000 T-shirts, and then we could have 100 that are approved by us, and then they get the signed, sealed, delivered stamp from CIG as that's an official T-shirt, and then boom, it's like it's out there, and because I'm sure people are probably doing StarCitzien T-shirts.
The crazy thing is,
TeePublic.
I don't like
the other problem. Like, you cannot put, like, if you want more as one T-shirt or more as one physical item, you cannot put them together in a cart and pay one time.
They need to have the storage in Europe and UK, somewhere where they just have there's no reason why they can't do it. I mean, I don't think they need to go to, like, Redbubble. I think it's good to have their own official place for it, because otherwise it's just someone else, like, TeePublic and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but having the items, having the items in the UK, just transport a third of them. You don't have to transport them all. Maybe
this is the thing. They probably only print a small number of those T-shirts, and as and when they need them, they probably print off more. And the thing is, it's really cheap for them to print them in China, which is why they're shipping them from China. So to expect them to print off a large number of T-shirts and then have them sat in a warehouse when, like, the extra larges aren't going to sell, or the extra smalls aren't going to sell, it's not economically viable.
Fight for the rights of the extra large here in this.
But that's not a problem. You can pre-order it and just say, we're not gonna start printing it until we know you have like 1 or 2 months to buy it, and then say, okay, we need that many are going to Europe, and then you can make a deal with a local how do they call it, logistical company. Because I actually worked for one, and we had customers that did this all the time. Like, 1 week we would get like 2,000 T-shirts, another week we would get parasols, and a week after it we would get lightsabers to distribute towards Europe. And we all got that in the same warehouse, and I know what they pay for it, and it ain't a lot.
No, Moise, can I just say something, by the way?
Yeah,
Have you ever been to a Star Citizen event? Or
Yes.
is BlizzCon going to be your first one?
This will be my first one.
Okay, XXL sells very well in this community. XXL sells very well.
I will bear this in
XXS
mind.
does not.
It's a lot of people sitting on their ass most of the day.
Yes.
You know, gaming community. So they tend to have a larger body size for sure.
But something I was going to say is, like, no disrespect to the people wearing the t-shirts, but I don't like any of the official Star Citizen designs. But
I like the Arizona one, but the fit is not good.
I love some of the in-game t-shirts. Why can't they take some of the in-game t-shirts and make them t-shirts?
Definitely.
Which is your favourite? I love those ones with the sort of straps on the side. I love that design.
I just want Remember the Can.
But I'm with Moist on this one, and I understand what you're saying, Mac, about making it, having their own distribution channels and all the rest of it. But the truth of the matter is, they're in the business of making computer games, not really in the business of making merchandise, and that's the reality right now. So why not either do one or two things? You either partner with somebody that is in the business of doing that, you do a good deal with somebody that is in the business of making merchandise, and you let them get on with it and make your merchandise for you. You find a good partnership somewhere, you do a deal, and you get it done, and you just say, for the next 5-6 years, we'll do or 10 years, we'll do a license deal only. You will make Star Citizen merchandise for us. We'll take a percentage of it. It takes all the sweat off of them. You just make sure the deal is signed properly with Chris Roberts' signature, saying we have IP rights. And we check, ultimately we have final to stay on stuff. Yeah, exactly. See, and that's it. It's sure there's a bit more to it, but you could they could block it out. They could get a really good merchandising company to get on board for them. They've got the potential there to sell shift a lot of good stuff and do good shit easy. So I don't see the problem. I honestly don't feel that. Just do the deal. It'd make life a lot easier for them.
They probably haven't found someone yet that paid enough money and where they could put a ship together with a t-shirt, So you have to sell the t-shirt and then
I think they have. I think the thing is at the moment, like you say, they're not making merchandise. They're a games company. At the moment, they're working on the game. When the game is finished, they can work on merch. And I expect we'll see pretty much every t-shirt in-game in the shops. Yeah. They do have someone to make the t-shirts, and the t-shirts are good quality. They are very good quality. Yeah. The problem is the UK and the Europe suffer. The prices are good, but the shipping is where it suffers.
The shipping is a problem.
But
it's
not priority.
Combined shipping.
I know, and and I understand the way it's not a priority, and that's why I'm looking at it going, well, the game is still going to be in development for potentially from now for another 5 years. That's a 5-year lease. A license agreement you could make with somebody right now that could run out by the time the game goes live, and then you can take control within that period back again if you wanted to, if you felt that the deal wasn't good enough and they were making too much money. There is a time period now where you can sell great merchandise, you could learn from it and see how they do it, and then you could it's like, look at the ships now. There are so beautiful ships that could be modeled, made.
Exactly.
How many companies could make this stuff?
I want less merch because I try and buy all the merch. And if they brought out ships of every single fucking thing, I would be like, oh my God.
Exactly.
But there's so much.
But to be fair, I would buy all
models.
ships pretty much.
I would.
Can we talk
collector's
collector's
editions.
We're being very negative today.
No,
I'm negative today.
It's not really negative. This is just like we're looking at the situation, and I'm going.
I'm just trying to be miserable here today. I'm trying to
revenue, opportunity, CRG. Save yourself a lot of time. Get somebody on board. Make a deal happen. Because there's a lot of people out there who want some good merchandise from you guys, and you can. It's there. It's there to be had. So take the.
There is a lot of cool merchandise, and I am excited. I really hope we see Lego and Airfix as part of. I would love to make a constellation out of Airfix models. I would wet myself while making it.
Speaking of Lego, it just so happens. Oh, surprise, surprise! Boom! Somebody's actually made little
multiple ships of Lego.
They have. We've seen some earlier ones.
Yeah. There were some better ones.
There was a Hornet. Hang on, a Hornet design has been approved by Lego, I believe.
No, it has not.
Thing is
did it not get approved?
No,
I love these. I love these ones though.
I don't know why. Because
here you go. Here's the link. This is cool. In order to get approved, you need 10,000. You need more than what is it? Oh, I didn't make it.
Look at that.
10,000.
Sexy.
No. There was one that actually made it that looks better.
Was that the Aurora?
No, there were multiple Hornet ones, but the one that did make it until the review phase, Lego pretty much said, yeah, like we don't think our community is interested in this, and I'm like, are you crazy?
They don't know what they're missing because the community of Star Citizen are probably one of the richest and more wealthiest in any game.
And grew up probably making spaceships in Lego. I certainly fucking grew up making spaceships in Lego. I don't know about anyone else here, but that's one of my biggest introductions to the world of spaceships and creation was Lego. I used to literally sit there and make my own spaceships, and I loved it. And I made the best spaceships in the house. They were amazing.
Everything that Madness does is the best.
Yes. Well, of course, in my small space, I was the best. I was the best at Tekken in my house. No one could beat me at Tekken. I was amazing. I was a god.
Yeah, that didn't have anything to do with the controller you gave the other guy that you pulled out or something.
Oh, no, it's just the fact I was always playing my dad, and he was rubbish. So I was always the best.
Or maybe he did let you win.
No, because he was always in tears. And you can tell because he got angry and then he'd pull out the remote and then he'd storm off in a huff because that was my old man. So it was like, I knew he wanted to beat me, but he couldn't beat me. So
it was probably angry because he had a remote in his ass.
And I always felt bad. I was like, should I let him win? No. As you do, it was like, no.
And he walked away out the door and he was like, so he thinks he won again.
Yeah, maybe.
You guys can
now finally I can stop this fucking drama.
Here's my question to you, Gun. Do you think that we should be able to refuel and rearm and repair our ships at Port Olisar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't make much sense that we can't really.
No.
It's actually stupid, man. It's like going to a gas station with a truck stop, food and everything, and not being able to fucking fill up your car.
I think Port Olisar is like an old school station that never, but now, like, you know, things like refueling, things we see in the truck stop, I think Port Olisar will be replaced by a truck stop and it'll just be known as Port Olisar, but it's a truck stop design. I think the old design of Port Olisar will slowly disappear. I think it was just an old style that needs updated, a bit like the ships. They need to be brought up to the current standard, so we'll see refueling and things.
Mac,
I think
they actually said in the questions today, they said pretty much Olisar is a relic of the past, and it's pretty much we use it because we don't want to put in the new assets because they're not finished yet. It's the same reason ships just appear out of nowhere. So I think when we get the new Olisar, that we will likely be able to refuel and rearm at least the basic stuff. Maybe not the very advanced stuff, but
I'll be interested to see it. I would be interested to see if Port Olisar goes the way of Tessa and just seems to vanish.
Yeah, most
likely.
likely.
Get rid of Tessa. Although we know who it is now, and it's kind of spoiled the dream.
She still's hot.
Tessa. 10-ton Tessa, as we like to call her.
It's like a sex call, isn't it? It sounds good, but really in reality, she's probably like a 60-year-old fucking Tracy.
Actually, she's like 28 or 29 or something.
She's let's not get down. It's just saying she's yummy. Agree what's going on with these, but okay. So I got a few things. I'm gonna bring this up here to see what you guys think about this. Okay, so I'm going to read this out.
What do you think about a deep fried Mars bar? What do you think
so this is
about
the
that?
silence. And Mars bar, deep fried is lovely. The silence is deafening from CIG. This is somebody talking about this. This is a good question. He says, I love this project and multiple times concierge. So this person spent some money. And I'm sure this is going to be a great game, but I have lots of fun in 3.0. Moreover, I understand why Chris needed to get 3.0 out by the end of last year. However, I would really appreciate it if CIG would start to communicate and tell us if they plan to fix some of the more annoying bugs that are breaking the game in 3.0 before 3.1. So not the 2 weeks. So rather than waiting for the 2 months, he wants to know, such as things like the ping pong ball bug, which anyone knows is game breaking. If you get that, your game is broken. You can't play StarCitzien anymore. You may as well go and play something else, which is terrible, to be honest. The rec weapons don't appear in the PU. Now, I've been having some serious problem with rec weapons. I've got had to buy all my rec weapons again from the previous time. So I've got all my old rec weapons plus a whole new set of rec weapons. I can't install them in my hangar. I struggle to install them in. Someone showed me a way of doing it. I did it on stream. Doesn't really work that well. Then if you then claim your ship, all your weapons are gone, obviously, as you'd expect, but they're all gone, and then you have to redo it all again. So
it's just like cargo disappearing. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like if you're out and traveling somewhere and the game crashes, all your cargo is gone.
It is.
We are playing a alpha. Have you ever seen another game that has been as far as StarCitzien is an alpha? We are the bug testers anyway.
But what's
we're gonna be fucked either way.
The point what he's trying to get
at about having a patch out before 3.1 for optimizing certain bugs that we have.
Yeah.
That was
I think they should.
I really hope so. This is something I want as well. But I don't know. Exactly. We have the Delta Patcher. It is if they have said that they have the ability to put out. You're breathing through your fucking nose again, there, my
Sorry, it's my code. Sorry.
Are you on this app again?
No,
Are you on this app again?
To be fair, they have fixed a lot of the bugs already, the smaller ones, and I think they're also working on the more important ones. And as soon as they have a fix, I think they will implement it.
I reckon we will see a hot fix, small patch, multiple small patches, hopefully before 3.1. My fingers are crossed. They've said they have the ability to. Whether they do or not is different, but I wouldn't see why they would hold off, because 3.1 is massive optimizing.
Have they fixed the golf ball?
No, I think we just spoke about. Is that what you were mentioning, Madness?
Actually, they have reduced the ping pong bug. The chance that it appears first used to be like way bigger than now, so they are working on it, but it's not totally fixed yet, unfortunately.
Do you know a point to make is that people were dying to get 3.0. They pushed it forward and they worked so hard and probably brought it earlier than they should, and now we've seen Star Citizen die a death. So ultimately, the best option should have been to wait, because people wouldn't have lost interest. Because now they're seeing the game, and it's obviously not optimized. It's not running well. So potentially a better option would have been to wait and just keep people in limbo until they got it to the point where it was optimized, and then people would be like joyous. Just a thought, not guaranteed.
I don't agree, because I think the reason it's dying down is because everyone is doing the same trade runs. That's pretty much the biggest problem, and combat at this moment is, well, not an option for me. I cannot speak for you, but
I'm searching for derelicts.
Yeah, I can't play combat at the moment.
And that was in 2.6. At least you had combat.
AC is still, the flight model is still not working. The reality is the ship customizer, I don't know about you guys, but when I spin the ship around, my guns fall off, shit doesn't work, I can't get the gun. The reality is you want, the fundamentals of combat is you want to be able to customize your ship, and you don't want it breaking every 5 seconds. You want to be able to wreck your guns, because that's their wrecking system in place. At the end of the day, AC needs, for combat, you need the frames. You need to have the frames to have smooth combat. Arena Commander as a whole has got it's got pickups, which are fucking awful. Don't know how many times people have complained about pickups in game. It's ridiculous. The game modes for the battle, the Arena Commander needs to have more. There's a great talk on it about potentially doing more PU style combat, where one life rules would make a lot more sense to me, like it used to be in 2.5, when once you ran out of guns and stuff, it was kind of game over. You had to kind of die. That's a bit more I've always said they could implement a platform, I don't know, some way of restocking rather than pickups, because pickups are just stupid. You're not training yourself for proper combat in that sense. Personally, I would just change the game mode to be one death kind of scenario. An option also to improve. It's so frustrating. AI. It's so frustrating, because Arena Commander could be so good. I mean, I was in it the other day for the first time in ages, and I actually managed to get in, and it was glorious. I had wonderful frames. It visually was great, but the flight mechanics were still a bit off, but that's how I could handle it. I would learn how to handle it, but I couldn't wreck it. I couldn't sort out any guns. I couldn't test any different types of weapons. I couldn't get anything to hold. I was getting so frustrated. My pips were awful. I had one gun on the left side, one gun on the other side. I could only have like a size 1 gun on the nose, and hitting a bloody target for ages doing no damage. So I was just very disappointed that they didn't at least have that sorted. And I'm hoping big time 3.1, they've got it coming. Please.
Yeah, really hope so. But again, Soulmate's point, it's alpha. I'm not shitting on anything you've just said, because you're right.
It's just gives us something else to do. But cargo, you could do some AC for a bit, do a bit of shooting, and it's good. And then you go back to a cargo. It just gives you the variety. Otherwise, you're
to be a citizen. We need to have patience. We really need to have patience, because it's the way they're doing it. I'm not shitting, like I say, on anything you're saying. You're
it's fine.
But we need patience. And I even now and again, I get to the point where especially if I'm trying to record a video, I'm trying to play the game, and something crashes or the lag comes in and I can't use that. It's so annoying. But then you think, well, it's alpha. It's the way it runs. Take a break from it and wait for it to come back. And a lot of people I know, Sandman has just said here, he's not playing until the next patch comes out. And hopefully 3.1, like you say, will have that optimizing that'll allow us to play it. And I do not blame anyone. Like when 3.0 dropped, I started getting people that I hadn't spoken to in streams since 3 years back. And they're like, is it changed anymore? Because they've just been like, right, well, I'll back it and I'll leave it and I'll come back when it comes to a point. And that's everyone is different. Maintain it yourself.
We have to, and I agree with Madness in a certain way as well. But next to that, we're very spoiled with an alpha of the magnitude that we have. No other game does it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But 3.0 is massive.
I have to agree with Sandman. I'm not playing at the moment purely because I get too frustrated with everything that goes wrong, But in the back of my head, I know it's an alpha. So leaving it and coming back to it hopefully before March or May or whatever they said. Yeah. Hopefully before that time, they do something with it. And I think the Delta patcher should have been made for that reason as well. I totally agree with you.
I think I was okay with everything up until I started getting the doors glitch. And I at the start of every stream, I have to spend the first hour just going through, claiming everything.
Yep.
It's just, it's just way too much.
Play videos in the background and just talk. It's so much more fun.
Moist,
you could play getting over it while you're waiting.
I'm constantly moving you using shit. So you keep deliberately.
Give him a bigger box.
It's like a game. I'm just going to move you off the screen. There we go. That's where Moist is. He's going to go up here. Hello, Moist. Hello. He's going to go through all the stream. There you go.
It's me, Moist.
I also
Moist
think
Noodle.
one big thing is, of course, most gamers are not used to actually playing real alphas, because big AAA companies pretty much call nowadays everything pre-order and get access to the alpha when it's actually just like the last beta, like a month or two before the game actually is released. And especially for people who are of my age, who in general don't have the same experience as older players, they have never played a real alpha. I used to be in school and I actually got paid to fucking test alphas. And let me tell you, then if you compare those to Star Citizen is like amazing in comparison to some of those games. And those games came out like 4 to 6 years later sometimes.
I think like if a lot of people who complain did any sort of development whatsoever, they would have a lot more patience. Like I've only ever done web development, but just from doing like the small amount of web development I've done, like it makes me understand the pain,
Yeah, I'm a generation of 15, 20 seconds. So for me, patience has always been a difficult thing for me. But my main kind of grumble, it's generally down to the fact that I played over a year of combat. With every day, pretty much for a year of alpha testing from 2.5. 2.6 was a slight bit, but then by the time they repaired it within a month for 2.6.3, or I think it was like a month or two, whatever, they fixed it. And combat for a whole fucking year, I got to play that patch for a whole year. And I woke up every day and I loved it. I loved it. It was never, I mean, there's a few salty moments of dying and stuff, but generally, I absolutely loved it. Now, and I've said this before, I am watching my combat friends leave this game now in numbers, not just like 1 or 2. And they'll come back, I hope, but they are leaving this game in numbers now for the first time. And it is disheartening for me knowing when there's arena commander there potentially that they could enjoy, and a lot of them are going away. I mean, Zach, for example, has gone back to EVE Online now. I noticed that. I mean, showed him. He's not like he's left the game. He will still probably play it, but for him, it's just not fun anymore. And it's heartbreaking when I'm like, oh, if only Arena Commander was working, we could have fun still in it.
We've had these periods, and let's be honest, on multiple patches now. You know, you have that honeymoon period, I call it, where every man and his dog is streaming and playing StarCitzien. You know, people are coming out of the woodwork like there's some free shit to get somewhere. You know what I mean? People are jumping out like there's no tomorrow, and it'll die down again, and the diehards will keep playing. And we have to keep in mind. And although I would love to see a different madness, you know, it is an alpha. It will be an alpha for at least another year, 2 years, or for how long they will go on with it, you know. And it's the hard reality of it, you know. It's just the hard reality that we have to face. And
it's true. But it's just one of those things.
It is. It's the sort of thing that, like you say, I mean, over the course of 5 years now, I've seen people, and including myself, my inspiration has sort of teetered along with everyone else as well. But because I'm on the forefront of it, I still find myself intrigued because you guys help me keep interested. Because there are still people that will watch every stream and wait for all the information.
The community is still great.
I wouldn't do this show if I didn't like Star
Exactly.
I wouldn't do this if I didn't think that this is going to be the best space.
I think if the community wasn't this great with this game would have already fell down flat on its belly, because if COD or Battlefield would have done something like this, they would have instantly, without please don't, man. StarCitzien runs better as most released Ubisoft games.
They took their services down today. They've done something.
You know, I've been watching I don't know if you watch the YouTube. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like just basically like fails in games. And it's a lot of it is things like Assassin's Creed fail, like the glitches, the bugs and glitches. And I was looking at them thinking, we get the odd glitch like that. Well, we get more than the odd glitch. But as way as alpha goes, StarCitzien is actually pretty stable
pretty far.
Yeah. Bugs.
But if it's a Ubisoft game or a Bethesda game,
they release it
buggy on release. You know it.
Yeah.
You better not buy it in the first fucking year.
I don't understand how Ubisoft games are that buggy on release, because every Ubisoft game is exactly the same. So, like,
I don't know, man. I don't know how they do it. I think they put it in the box.
There's one game company in particular that came out that showed everybody that you can make a game with pretty much next to no bugs, and that game is called The Witcher.
Yeah, but The Witcher are just an
a very small team,
polished,
a very small team.
No end. That is unbelievable achievement. That is such a standard in gaming
and it's a big game. It's
huge a big game and complicated NPCs.
Yeah.
But one of the advantages they have is they take folklore, and they take well-known folklore for where they are based. So pretty much most of the monsters are already in lore, so they don't actually need to make up all the lore themselves. And that is a big advance, of course, for the lore part of the game. But even the non-lore part of the game, it's amazing.
Incredible.
There are still bugs, but compared to other games,
I mean, I played it. I played Witcher on my PlayStation, and I'm not joking. I think it probably crashed.
Did you just say PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm a console player.
Good for a table.
Why did you play it on PlayStation?
Because that's what I had at the time. I only had a PlayStation. I didn't have a PC.
Okay, yeah, no, then it's okay. But I was like, if you have any computer and a PlayStation, and you buy it on PlayStation, I'm like, why?
I wish I could have played that on my second.
I like gamepads. Save my fingers from working.
You can use gamepads on PC.
When I work, I mix up between. I use the pen, I use a mouse, and I use a gamepad for gaming. And the reason is because I don't want to. These are my little livelihood, so I can't be getting arthritis and damaging my hands and having repetitive, doing one movement all the time. So I have to mix up. So I mix up all my.
Insure your hands.
Yeah,
we have a study in Holland. I just saw a documentary today about it. where they put on the little cap on your head.
Oh, Mac had that a while back.
Yeah, but this one is with electrode,
condom.
and you can actually play a game that way just by thinking like,
Yes,
okay,
I've seen that. Yeah, thinking your way through the game.
You need that little bit of madness.
29.9.
You need that. Then you cannot get
That's the new FOIP. That's going to be next year's Gamescom. That's what everyone's going to be wearing condoms on their heads, like Mac was, and it's going to be that. And you have to be thinking that'd be like the new latest game changer. Game changer will be thought processed gaming for Star Citizen. That's going to be the game changer.
Put madness such a cap on. The only thing that his character in game would do is humping legs like a little dog.
If you say so. If you say so.
You would just be running after its tail.
A very cute dog. Getting angry every now and again. So here's my... Okay,
so can we go really onto something positive now? Because
yes.
we're being very negative. We're being very negative.
This is the Reddit section. So Reddit sometimes can be a bit down.
Oh, yeah. Are we done with the Reddit section now?
We're in the Reddit corner. We've got lots of Reddit... Here we go. So this is where I'm going to bring this up. This is dope. This is positive.
That's so sexy.
The Cyclone.
I've not seen that.
Okay.
Where's the link to
so
this?
This is the Cyclone RN in racing skin someone's done with the Big Benny's kind of logo. And this little bad boy, I mean, I like this a lot. I mean, I think they've improved the wheels. I don't think this is old artwork. I don't think this is the new one. I think the wheels are thicker now based on the previous picture I saw. But
the new one
like
has
I said
thicker
last
wheels.
week. Yeah, it's got thicker wheels from the latest picture. So this is older. I think this is older artwork, but still, it looks cool. And I was thinking about the Dakar, because I think we mentioned it the other day about Dakar racing, and it got me thinking. Dakar. Sorry, apologies.
No, it's
I
fine.
spelled it wrong, but it got me. It got me thinking about what would it look like. And how could we potentially set that up? And would the vehicles take damage? So you have to repair them. So you could do a Dakar-style Daymar race from one side of to another side.
God, I've got such a boner right now. I cannot wait.
It wouldn't take damage.
And you have to and you could do like two different. You could do multiple types of racing. You could do a non-violent one, and you could do a violent one where you could kind of like road rash style. You could have somebody on the back with the turrets trying to take each other out, type of thing, to see if you could attack.
Or you
way
could.
through and you have to be so much fun.
You could hotwire the missiles to actually also work on land vehicles instead of only ships, and then you could EMP the vehicles.
Well, we got the EMP on the version of the Cyclone as well, couldn't you? So.
Do you know what I've been
quite funny
since seeing the Razor? I've been thinking how, because I'm not good at racing. I just crash. There's no two ways around it. But you could own a Razor, and like I was saying, because of referrals, I have a Razor, but I'm not going to use it. And I was thinking, shall I melt it or should I sell it or whatever to get something else? But I thought, no. What I'll do is I'll have an SM Borg. My org. I'll have an SM Borg.
A what?
SM Borg. Get the
SMB.
SM Borg.
I got an SM basement. Team. Hey.
So we'll. I bet you do. You kinky bitch. So I'll have like an 890 jump that transports this Razor around with a racing team on board. So engineers that will look after the ship, a pilot or a couple of pilots that can race the ship, and have your own advertisements through that, and have a proper racing team that travel around the verse. Either the Murray Cup.
Would an 890 jump really be the best ship? I mean, you would want.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I love the 890, but I would say you need like two vehicles, because let's say your pilot, even if he's good, I assume you won't fly because else the ship won't be in one piece for long. But let's say even a good pilot can crash. If you have a second ship, because
you will need
you need a second ship. So for that reason alone, so I would say you at least need something that's able to carry two ships.
Okay, so you start off very early on with a ship that can carry one ship, like a shitty ship, and then you enter these little races until your pilot earns enough to buy a second ship, and then you have a racing team, and then you can have like a better ship that can carry two.
I don't think it's only
racing teams. I want racing teams. I would be down. Like I said, if I were an off-roading racing team, like a Dakar or kind of a proper racing team, it'd be so much fun. It'd be like Be great.
Definitely.
Fun. I love the idea.
And this razor looks fucking incredible.
I'm about to say
well
the
there,
razor.
all metal.
I was like, I like the M50, but then when I saw what and they talked about it, and just I looked at it, I was like, oh. Yes, please. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, yes, please. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The way the cockpit opens as well.
Yeah,
It is
it
nice.
looks really sexy, overcomplicated a bit, but it's really sexy how it opens.
Yeah, and that was the landing gear down, and it looked like it was still doing some serious miles.
Yeah, but that's
back of
because
it.
the landing gear currently does not go up.
Oh, it's
So,
just a bug. Okay.
Let me
It's not
get you out of the
not flight ready
illusion
yet.
that's landing
not-
speed.
It's not flights. I was thinking that was landing speed. I was thinking, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 50
go.
meters for
Rats.
all the other
I was-
ships. This ship
I
flies.
I want it to be
converted-
fast in atmosphere. I want it to be fast in atmosphere.
converted
I said it.
Genesis Starliner. That
Starliner?
was
Yeah.
a Genesis
Yeah,
Star. I converted
Genesis
to
Starliner-
transport ships. But you would need you'd need people like engineers who can come on and repair components quickly, like at the pits. So you'll have engineers that work on the ship when it's sort of in between races, polishing it, keeping it running
You
smooth.
want them to
And
change
you're
the wheels for you and so.
No, you won't have to carry a fuckload of wheels. But like during the race, they'd have the pit team who would come in, swap out components, because they did say that competitive components, which is one of the classes of components, will
Will wear
have
out.
high performance but wear out quick. Yeah, durability is low, so you need to swap them out after a
I'll-
certain amount of lengths.
Let's also not forget fuel. We know there will be different
Yeah.
qualities of fuel. So if you really are serious about a race team, you will need someone that will gather the highest quality fuel, because that might make your ship like get a little bit further on the same fuel and a little bit faster. And maybe you are talking about 2 meters a second more, but
But it
in a
counts.
race
doesn't
of 5
Premium
kilometers,
race fuel. I like the idea of that. Starfarer quality, Starfarer, custom Starfarers that do
it?
specifically for racing.
You can have your own Starfarers with your racing team logo along the side that go out and specifically collect fuel for your team. This is going to happen. This sort of stuff will happen.
But as far as going and getting money to buy another ship and then entering a bigger race, I think it's more a point of reputation. Just like you see in the real world, you can have
Yeah.
you can buy a Formula 1 car, but you won't be able to fucking drive it on the circuit because you don't have the reputation yet.
Yes. So you'll need to earn your way into like the Murray Cup racing.
Yeah,
So you
I
start
think
from
it
the
will be a financial part and
Yeah.
a reputation part.
Yeah, buy yourself into the race and earn your credits. Also, Card has said overclocking parts, which is another thing. Someone else said, will there just be a race that is for decoupled mode? And you kind of think like some of the races may just be like the old Gran Turismo races, where you need to have a certain amount of horsepower. You may have to have stock items on your ship, or no more than D-class components on your ship, and Aurora only races and things for the people who, like me, who can't go beyond 200 meters a second before they
I
crash.
definitely see that happening. Why not? Like you
Yeah.
have different classes of auto races. You have Formula 1, but you also have like up till like 200 horsepower, 500 horsepower. Why would this be any different? Or even cars that are all the fucking same, like NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly.
NASCAR
it's,
cars are all the same under the hood. Now, at least officially, they will have the same weight and the same parts in them. So it's pretty much up to the driver.
I just want a gentleman's club inside of a bond of merchantment for both male and female, you know.
So you have Dancing Jan.
Yeah, one floor for, you know what.
Different floors for your preference.
yeah, per preference, you know.
I know clubs
Question.
like that.
Question. And how about females and people that are
Listen,
don't
everything-
identify as one
everything-
sex?
Everything.
Because
They can
nowadays
find
that's
it
really
for-
important.
900
Souls-
years in the
in Souls
future, they'll
Gentleman
have
Club.
everything for everyone.
In Soul's Gentleman Club, your preference does not matter, and all is
depends what year, right?
satisfied.
There's a
Welcome,
wonderful
you.
book. There's a wonderful book called War and Peace. I don't know if anyone's read it, but it talks
Isn't it
about
written
how,
upside down?
Never heard of it.
It's a wonderful science
War
fiction
and
book, and it
Peace.
basically the concept is there's a story about a soldier and how in those days when you travel great distances in time, you have to obviously kind of like break the laws of time. So effectively, the further out you go, when you return to Earth, hundreds of years have passed. And so every time you go further away, it triples, quadruples, whatever. And so he ends up going on an initial mission, comes back, 10 years has passed. Then he goes out a little bit further, and he comes back, then 30 years has passed. He goes out, then people are dead. Then he goes back out, and he comes back again, like 150 years, 200 years has passed. And he then realizes no one's alive anymore, and he just goes out further and further, and then keeps coming back after a period of time. But in that process of him returning, he notices that the sex and the way humans are evolving changes, and there's a period of time, for a certain period of time when he returns, where like everybody's gay, and then there's another period when he returns where everyone's asexual. Then he returns, and then everyone's suddenly turn into like
that doesn't sound like War and Peace, to be honest.
No, but
that actually
it's a fabulous.
sounds
That's a very
like
that's a very interesting book.
You know,
really good
in the
book.
time of the
Read
Romans,
War,
pretty
though.
much everyone was gay, or at least bi, because pretty much guys sucking off
interesting.
guys was normal. Like,
Like in Roman times and things. Like
yeah, in
that.
fucking Roman times, you can see it on the fucking pottery and all the shit they made.
We're going to move back onto spaceships, but that was just an interesting topic about how, in terms of time, people change. But that was just
Well,
really
it
interesting.
evolved very
Moist,
quickly.
What's your
Let's
opinion,
just-
Moist?
Let's move on to the Mustang rework. I just want to talk about. We're talking about ships.
Yeah, I don't think he means War and Peace. I don't think he meant War and Peace. That's an old book that is about something else. I'm pretty sure.
I was about to start reading War and
Have you
Peace.
read Art of War?
Who?
I'm pretty sure it's
Art
War and
of
Peace. hang
War,
on.
Mac.
Art of War.
I think
By
it's a science
Sun
fiction one.
Ship.
No, the
Sun
Art of
Ship. Yeah,
War
I've
is a
got that
different
book, yeah.
story. That one I know.
It is beautiful.
Hang
I
on.
still
We
don't
needed to
understand it all. You have to read it over and over again to really take it in, but it's definitely a good book.
It's good.
Why?
That's not a new
Very good.
concept, man.
If I ever
I
need
think
to
it's-
kill anyone with a samurai sword, I will know how to do it.
Did I just see Dating Daddy Simulator or whatever it was in the background on somebody's Discord?
That was the link. That was the link that someone said.
Oh, man.
Sure it was,
Yeah.
man. Sure it
What are you
was.
doing?
Oh dear. Oh, sorry.
I think Edison is grabbing that pink dildo.
Edison's gone to.
Right
Yeah.
time.
We won't go down there.
It's not. Sorry, ignore me. I'm gonna
Oh,
find
you're
out.
right,
The
what
yeah.
it is
Chinese
now.
is the Art of War. It was
Man, the new
Mirisoko.
Mustang. It's
What's
so
your vote?
sexy.
Oh, it's Peace and War. My bad. Wrong way round. Peace and War.
Yeah,
And it's
they're
done-
very two different
And
distinctions
it's,
there. Quite
oh,
important.
come on, dyslexic person, bless him. Let him. It's called Peace and
I'm
War. It's by a guy
dyslexic too,
called.
man, but love is L-O-V-E.
Oh God, seriously, you guys, honestly, Peace and War. It's an
Peace is way longer.
Yeah. Sorry, Peace and War, not War and Peace. Sorry. Okay. Peace and War. There you go. Finally, whew, we got there. That's the book I'm referring to. It's a really good read, actually.
Sounds
So anyway, back so the Mustang. Which I like about this is like I'm liking the fact, obviously, the rework, the way the cargo's going in, obviously the front opening cockpit, the way you get in. Yeah, it's just going to make life so much easier.
Ooh, where was this from? What was this from?
This is the Mustang rework. You not seen this before?
Oh, it's just an yeah. Sorry.
It's an older video, but I'm just talking about ships. This period, just going to talk about just briefly
Should I
a couple
buy
of ships.
Daddy Dating Simulator?
We were
I
talking about
like
the racing
way
ship, the
wheels now
Mustang.
fit under it.
This is all
No.
these are old ships that have been reworked. So not the Razors are reworked, but this is a reworked ship. We've now got the Avenger now, which has been reworked.
I
just
can already
wondering.
tell you, one thing is gonna change, man. It has wheels. No way the ship will have wheels, because every ship that has wheels in any kind of concept image, even if they're working on it like this, all the wheels always get replaced by struts.
There is no
Landing.
need for wheels at all on spaceships.
No,
I think that's just a placeholder.
I
stuff,
disagree.
think.
Yeah.
That's just placeholder. That's not real.
Yeah.
That's just placeholder.
But it looks way better.
Club, yeah. That's a
But
good
that's
one.
the old one's got some special memories. It was the first ship I ever had. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new one. It will be interesting to see with the rework how many people then switch back from the Aurora back to the Mustang. It'll be quite interesting to see.
Hang on, Matt says the wheels. What?
Yeah, Mr. Sherman.
Why?
said
Oh, they're
the
not.
wheels.
Why has it got wheels? Why would a
Oh no,
spaceship
so it
need
is
wheels?
Oh,
It makes no sense.
Actually, I disagree with you, Mac. Wheels sometimes do have sense. Let's say you land on a planet and you want to keep a low profile.
You can hover.
If it
Thanks, Matt.
no, but if you hover, you need to put on your engines. You send out EMP.
The only thing I can think for wheels is when you land on like an Idris or you land on a ship and you need to move around in the hangar.
Yeah,
Other than
that's
that,
why I say.
What I
Good,
mostly
that's
look
fine.
forward to is seeing people landing the Mustangs on hills, on moons,
Forgetting
getting
the
out,
handbrake
and
on.
then just seeing the Mustang running down the
Forgetting to
fucking...
put the brakes on and just see you rolling it down into the ocean.
Farewell, my friend.
Oh no! Yeah, that would be quite funny. But no, I like in the way that the cockpit and the way that the the cargo's kind of loaded into the back of it and stuff. I think it looks really nice.
Cool.
Really happy about that one.
It's grown in size.
This is the next
it looks
one.
way bigger.
You know, when you
next
start
one.
playing a game like EVE Online and you have your noob ship in EVE Online and most other games like that, and like it's just like a little lemon that you're flying around. Like the starter ships in StarCitzien actually feel like something you would want to be flying around in.
Yeah,
flying around.
I love the Aurora. The Aurora is just like my all-time favorite ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me not. I don't really care that much for the really small ships, but that's a personal taste. But I love the Avenger.
I love
And
this
I
ship.
love the way
and
it
I
looks.
love this colorway and the advocacy, which we know are the badass police. Basically, they're UE, like these are the badass police. Don't want these guys on you. It's like the top. This is like, yeah, very very cool. It's amazing. It's great that they brought back obviously 2 seats for it, increase the space, increase the size. Just looks right. I don't know about you guys, what they've done in terms of making it bigger. It's just the right thing.
It looks beautiful, absolutely amazing. I'm so excited that I own an Avenger. I used to think of it as being my quick sort of runaround ship that I would use most of the time for single person purposes.
You know, the funny thing, after we saw the demo, the Squadron 42 demo, I went and bought one again.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You're not the only one.
Beautiful. You got one as well.
I've got the Titan on buyback because I've upgraded it to a Cutlass Blue because I wanted to use the LTI token, but now I've seen this, I'm like, I want to probably buy that back again.
See, all they're doing now is they're just like, obviously we've seen the advocacy ship, which we cannot have in the PU because it's for the advocacy. So they're just reskinning it and changing the interior for obviously the different variants, and then we're going to get it, and it's 3.1 hopefully. But
all stealth black, please. More black in game.
Oh
for sure.
yeah!
Oh, make it black with red, man. With the red canopy.
Just looks great like that. I was just like,
it's one of my favorite ships, and it's the sort of ship that at the moment you can't really use because it's still a bit iffy in a lot of places. So this rework is much needed.
Do we know? I haven't checked the stats on this. Do we know if it's going to have a fixed nose gun again, or if they're going to make that an actual hard point? Because that was one of my biggest
the rumors are that it's gonna be gimbal size 3, and you can also put a fixed size 3 on it.
So it is going to be changeable.
And the guns under the wings will maybe be upgraded to size 2, but that's pure speculation at this point. I heard people say they're gonna be size 2, and I even heard some people say size 3, but I cannot see that thing carrying size 3. No way, man.
This is like a mini Cutlass in a way, the variation, it's got the cells in the back of it. Look at the cells there, just like the Cutlass Blue. I'm like looking at it going, seriously, I was looking at this ship going, this is a better bounty hunting ship, in my opinion, if you can get the cells version, than the Hawk.
It would have more, I'm sure the Hawk will have its...
The Hawk has way more firepower. So if it comes to firepower, the Hawk wins, but this thing wins absolutely in people.
I think the thing I like the most about the Hawk is the fact that you can look down. So if you're chasing after somebody who's on the ground, it's going to be so helpful in that regard.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the Hawk has EMP.
You're like, what are you doing? Just give up. You're chasing after them in a Hawk.
You do know that if you're flying this and you've got 2 of you in it, your friend can be the spotter in 3D view, and you can be the pilot.
True. It'd be nice if it could have like a gimbaled camera or something.
I really think they need to implement cameras. If Sherman's still there, we need cameras so that we're like landing cameras. Just reverse. They used to have.
I bet you
the land.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you that must be something they're working on.
Yeah, with picture in picture, there's no reason why they cannot do that anymore. So they need to do it.
Nice one, stories. Yeah, good. It's a very good upgrade from the Aurora LN. It's a really, honestly, you've done well there, Avenger. good upgrade, especially now. No, I'm really, really, really pleased with this one. I think for all those starter ship people, it's going to be a wonderful progression ship, and if I really want to get it back again because I really like it.
It is the best starter ship. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's the best starter ship if you're not sure if you want to do cargo or combat, because it can do both at a decent level. And it actually also flies nice. I can even see people racing in them because they're not slow ships.
No, they're not.
And their acceleration is also pretty good comparison to some other ships. So I see it like it's the mix of all the ships, of all the other starter ships, and it's pretty much has a bit of all of them without being outdone in most of the parts.
Do you know, personally, I think there's about 4 or 5 ships that we may see for 3.0, but 3.1, but I don't think they'll bring them all out. It's like the Avenger is close, the Raider, the Terrapin, the Reclaimer, the Cyclone. I think they're all pretty close to being released for 3.1, but I don't feel like we'll get them all.
The Eclipse is also very close, but depending on how the resources are distributed, I can absolutely see the Reclaimer coming in 3.1, because they pretty much hinted at that at the latest video they uploaded.
Yeah,
with it's gonna be like 2 football fields big.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Just imagine like 2 Starfarers next to each other.
It's big, and it's intimidatingly big.
Yeah. So was the Starfarer when it first came into game. I know the first time I spawned it, and my friend came looking for it because he had never seen one before. He was like, yeah, where is it? I'm like, it's on the landing pad, and he was standing next to me, and he was like, is it behind the building? And I'm like, that is the ship.
Yeah, that's not a building.
and I still get lost on the Starfarer.
Yeah,
I know my way to the cockpit, and that's it.
Those days, you know, like when I sort of started doing YouTube videos and stuff, I'd do ship reviews, and you just walk around the Avenger, you would walk around the Constellation. When it came to the Starfarer, it was like, okay, let's do it one level at a time per video, because this is just, it took like 30 minutes to walk around it rather than like a 22 minute.
You know, that might have actually been the first of your videos I ever saw of yours.
Starfarer one.
Mac. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because I actually found you on YouTube before Twitch.
Oh, very cool.
A long time ago.
We're just because, like I said, it's been pretty. You know, there's a few things to talk about, but I really just like to, you know, the salty bit. But let's look at the best bits of StarCitzien, which is the spaceships. You know, and talk about what's coming up, and really positive. And this for me is one of the ships that I would love to be able to have. I just don't have the money just to buy this ship. But if I had the money to buy the ship, I would buy this ship. I just don't have the
turtle
money,
one.
You know. Yeah,
when we saw that on that demo, I was like, we're gonna fly the Terrapin, and then Chris was like, let's go the Aurora.
How much was the Terrapin?
185, I believe.
Yeah,
It is very
75.
it's got all this armor on it. I love the styling of it. I just love it. I just think it's a wicked. I think I agree with I think it was Nighthawk was talking about data being a commodity that people are underrating. I completely agree with him. I think data and information gathering will be incredibly important in StarCitzien and a real commodity to trade. Wait and see, obviously, to do with this jumping around in space. I'm interested to see if we're going to have the ability to do free jumping. I think they have to bring that in to the game. We can't do locked to waypoints, otherwise it's not the game I wanted. I really want to be able to jump into space and explore. So I'm hoping.
I think
Terrapin and the Crytek. Yeah, scanning it's going to be really important.
As soon as scanning is in, people are really going to appreciate the ships like the Terrapin, the Hornet Tracker, because at the moment there's no fucking reason to fly them.
No,
except besides that, they are absolutely eye candy and fucking ship porn.
Yeah, they are literally ship porn.
The Terrapin is going to be a great ship as a captain's hideout during a big battle. And he can command, because there's going to be a command module in it, I think.
I want to know what that middle seat's for. Do you know what I mean? That looks like a proper.
Yeah, that's the radar.
That's the
What
predator.
you
That's
will-
sick.
Yeah.
That's
Standard,
absolutely
it's the radar
sick.
operator, but
It's got a red light on it.
It looks like
It's
a dentist, yeah. That's what a dentist
Yeah,
is,
that's
like
true.
in my head.
VR dentist. Fuck
What
that.
you will see is that a commander will sit in that seat and command the fleet from that seat
Yeah, man.
and be protected and can get the fuck out if he needs to. You know.
Huge arm.
I can
To be honest, that makes a lot of
absolutely see
sense.
Smart people using them like in a network around the battlefield, just
You know what?
lurking at the edges outside of the sensor range of the other ships, and just giving everyone the information of your fleet, because knowledge
makes
is
a lot.
going to be power in the big fleet battles.
You know what would be
Yeah, yeah.
awesome is if you sat in that chair and then you had like a holographic 3D map around you, so you can literally see everything around you. How awesome would that?
You know what they said?
Basically, the
What
Moby
they-
Glass type of thing all around you. Like,
Chris
Yeah.
Roberts, you know this whole Squadron 42 demo we saw on this whole scanning mechanic that was missing. Chris Roberts said there's a 2D grid that should have appeared that allows you to scan. And there was multiple situations. One of them was when you're scanning for Agent Trio's Avenger, and you're supposed to go through this whole scanning mechanic and then find her and go down and fight the pirates and whatnot. But then also when you're ground level, you're supposed to scan for opportunity areas to get in. The scanning, the like scanners 2.0, whatever the hell it's called, is supposed to be on the cuff of coming out now. And we were supposed to have seen it in the Squadron 42 demo, but it's not ready. But it's going to be like a grid that will open up in front of you, and so kind of like this 3D map. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Terrapin comes in 3.1 if scanning doesn't come in with it.
I hope so. I really do. I mean, I know everyone had a problem with the golf ball swinging scanning thing, which caused, I think, a real delay on scanning coming into the game, which is a shame because it's kind of like, you know, everyone gets salty about certain things, but then they stopped us potentially having even a tier 0 of a game mechanic, which would have been at least something else besides just one thing, you know. And it would have, yes, they would have fixed it probably by now with something new, but they'd have already got some data on how scanning is, and we've kind of delayed that, which was a real shame. I know everyone wasn't the greatest, but I think everyone overreacted, in my opinion, on that one.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that disappointed me about that demo was actually the AI, the gunfiring AI. It just looks like, well, not really modern. And I know it's alpha, so
We are quite away from subsumption being completed,
Yeah.
though, aren't we? So
Yeah,
I agree,
there's a
I
big
agree.
update for FPS and for AI. I've always said that AI is probably the most important thing for this game at the moment, is making sure, because they always go on about subsumption being this super cool new feature, and if that is that's what draws you out of the immersion, is the AI. Like, everybody has had a fucking arrow in the knee when you're playing Skyrim. Like, why does everyone get shot in the fucking knee with an arrow? It's, you know, everyone.
I know who's behind it, man. It are the healers.
What?
The healers in Skyrim are behind the fucking arrows in
The
the knees.
healers.
Yeah, because the healers used to get paid in medieval times to heal people, and one of the most costly thing to get fixed was an arrow to your knee.
I think you're thinking way too much into this whole Skyrim thing. Just
No,
putting
no,
that out
I think
that
you
was
need
the
to.
idea behind it.
I think take a moment, have a look at what is coming, because this is.
Oh,
this
is that the
Mac's
Reclaimer?
favorite ship? This is Mac's favorite ship that he's most excited about. Is the Reclaimer.
I'm gonna be so lost when that thing comes out, man.
I cannot wait to review that ship.
The thing is,
I'll
we
literally
can
like-
review it only.
Where should we
on
go now?
looks.
Where should we go now?
you know the crazy thing?
on its performance.
From the day that I bought my first starter package, right, the goal was always a reclaimer. And then when I finally bought a reclaimer, I was like, what do I do now? Oh yeah, buy more ships. And I just kept going.
You're gonna
and I
need
haven't
more than
stopped.
one Reclaimer.
I actually started with a Banu Merchantman as my first ship, and I was like, oh wait, I need a game package.
Yeah, you're not going to do much with a Banner Merchantman when you
I
can
made
actually
them-
play the game with it.
I made the same mistake. Yeah.
Oh, so many people make that mistake. It's hilarious. I see them on Reddit completely like going, I bought the thing, but I can't even play the game. It's like, did you buy a
I was
ship
not
or did you buy a
complaining, you know, it
game
was back in
package?
2013, so
Crazy fools.
all
But
we
no,
had was the hanger, I believe.
why are you so in love with this ship, Mac?
It's,
Which ship?
To me, it is like my childhood dream of the Nostromo. the alien-esque, it's dirty, it's dingy, it's hard work. I've always been a grafter until recently, so it's like the idea of getting into overalls in having a captain's room for myself where I can sit there and masturbate and stuff, and then getting into the actual ship of grinding your way through making money and having a crew that is it's hot, it's sweaty, it's the environment. I just want an alien on board. I don't care if.
And you know what, Matt? I'll be there masturbating with you. Absolutely, I cannot wait for this shit. Yes,
I'm going to use the captain's blanket to mop up.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Mac, grab the captain's blanket. There we go.
Mac, as soon as I can find a xenomorph in the game, I will deliver it to your reclaimer for you.
We will have a full gameplay where we fight the xenomorph because Edison has opened the cargo hold and we're like, right, let him in. We're ready. And that will be the game.
And then the xenomorph takes an arrow to the knee.
Yeah.
I just put everywhere cameras and just stream it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And get all the money from the people paying to see it in game. And
yeah,
and you're all dead, and I'm like, well, I need to find new people to do it.
Do you know what I just realised? Look, these TVs are like totally 1990 TVs that they brought into this. What the hell is? Look at that, about this thick.
I'm not going to be happy unless there's CRT.
Shocking.
I want CRT.
Maybe there's an excuse for it. Maybe it's full of sensors and everything.
That's so cool, though. I've got to say, it does look Nostromo. With the
the crazy thing? I went. I'm clicking on the thing to try and pause the video there. Those monitors.
Tell me
those monitors. I actually have 4 monitors like that in work at the moment, and they come out of an old council building, and they're like the proper monitors that you get from train stations. They're awesome.
Yeah,
they're built to last.
Yeah,
built to last. That's what they are.
You know, the biggest feature in the ship is the padding. That is what it is that you see in the Nostromo.
Yeah. It really does remind me of Alien Isolation.
Yes,
I think that's there because the inertial dampers don't work. That's why there's padding everywhere.
It's because everyone thought my ship is drunk.
Well, I would love to see. Did they show that? I'm not sure if this video shows the dining room, but I always. Yeah, there you go. That is literally Nostromo dining room.
That is so good.
Yeah, it's the old Nostromo, not the new one.
Can you imagine that TV right there? Can you imagine watching a race with your friends on that TV?
And then some alien bust out.
I put them dollars on SMB one.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, they did say that the Reclaimer, they took inspiration from the Nostromo. So it is just the whole, like, it's not just one thing about the Reclaimer that I love, and I know I'm not alone. There's so many people that love this. So when that comes out and we get Xenomorphs, my game, I don't care. Apart from the Thing, going down to an icy planet and having to fight the Thing from John Carpenter's film. If you've not seen, you need to fucking watch that now.
Just make sure that we first get more than 20 frames a second.
I don't care. Yeah. I will fight a Xenomorph with 20 frames a second and love it. Because it'll be like having a strobe light on. I'll just turn the strobe light.
I have a topic of conversation which I wanted to bring up with you guys, which is
I wonder
something. Listen, you got 7 minutes. After the 7 minutes, you have to pay me extra for this shit.
To be fair, I think the video of the Reclaimer landing on the planet with the alien ship has way more Nostromo vibes than this one.
That is my favorite StarCitzien video I've ever seen.
I love the way it looks, and I'm not even the biggest fan of this ship because I'm the biggest fan. If I need to choose of the Banu Merchantman, that's really my favorite ship, but I still love the way that video looks, man.
Ryan, that's what I most look forward to with StarCitzien releasing. Seeing Jean, Banu, and Vandul porn on Pornhub.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah. Maybe that is your media future, online media future.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Porn director on Starters. I could do it. It sounds like a good pay.
I'll work with you on that one.
SuperMacbrothersRyan.
We need a Xenomorph. Can we get a Xenomorph? Anyone will do.
Aliens all day.
Right. Here I'm going to bring up. I'm going to bring up 2 pictures, and this is to do with the Tonk, because it got me thinking about the Tonk, and I was thinking we don't have any ships to be able to transport the Tonk around. that's
Actually,
really
we
big
have
enough
to-
in game.
Not
Well,
we will, because that Star Lifter, we know that's going to happen.
Drake Star.
All those ships are going to happen.
and this is my suggestion for CIG, and I'm going to bring it up on
Definitely.
stream right now. This is my suggestion.
Oh no, he's going to bring up suggestions now.
That's not a ship.
Hell yeah, it's not a ship. What?
So we
how
were talking about
fuck-
Euro Truck Simulator.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Can we get? I mean, keep talking about my trucks, but I'm like, yeah, I know it's about your truck simulator, but I have land-based vehicle that can carry or protect. I mean, I've already talked about it before with the helicopter with the wiring system to be able to drop things off like tanks and stuff. But I would love to have.
Can I point out, however, that the Tonk is like the size of an apartment building? It's like, it's like
The truck is going to
Let's
be
have-
big.
one of
let's
its
have
wheels
two
is
of
the size
those.
of that tank.
Yeah, but they make a double sized truck with like 19 like 50 or whatever 50 wheels or something ridiculous. I would just love the idea of having like a huge kind of vehicle like this for like driving over
Makes
planets
no
and stuff that
sense,
can
though.
carry tanks and stuff. Why?
Well,
You know,
we know there are refueling
Put it back in the ship.
vehicles.
You get up.
Use for real world.
Rory Bellows makes a good point. So that makes the
The Tonk
problem
makes
bigger.
no sense.
Which ship carries the carrier vehicle?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is just on land. This is just on planets.
A vehicle.
Just
on
I
planets.
carry a vehicle.
Just on
I don't
planets,
know.
just on
I don't know
planets.
where I don't know where I saw it, but there was a video on the StarCitzien YouTube where a developer mentions that the Tonk, it's not likely the Tonk is supposed to stay on a planet.
Yeah.
Like where
Same
it's
with the
dropped is where
vehicles.
it lives.
Yeah,
So-
I hope they go back on that because else it's pretty much useless. If let's say you
I've
fight a
always
war on one planet
You
and
know,
the war is over,
I've
you
always
don't
thought the
want to
Tonk is
keep-
useless, dude. I've always thought it's useless. That's why I just want to have a great big truck to make it even more useless. But I could just go bombing around in a huge truck with a trailer. I wouldn't have vehicles with trailers and like attachments, and you can mix it
But
up.
am
and
I
land,
the
like,
only
fuel
one
and-
who was actually shocked to saw the Starlifter being referred as a Drake ship when originally the Starlifter was one of the variants of the Genesis Starliner?
However,
I didn't know
in
that.
StarCitzien, in Around the Verse this week, they did mention that very often they'll be literally developing and grey boxing ships and then realise it's the wrong manufacturer.
yes,
You know,
because
so-
suit their yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true, and I think that kind of like you say, Edison. It may have belonged to a certain manufacturer, but stylistically, it.
Yeah.
belongs
But
someone else.
to be fair, some people actually bought that ship with the idea, oh, it's gonna have a vehicle transporting role, and that was
Possibly.
pretty much also hinted at by the developers at the time. so
More fool them. But
So-
when you-
Wow.
we do
Wow.
more.
Sucks
No.
to be them.
oh
Hey.
dear, what
Yeah,
a
it's
waste of money that was. No, the thing
it
is,
does suck to be them, but if they keep doing stuff like that, and
well,
I know they don't try to do it on purpose, but to someone looking out from the outside who is not a part of the community, and he discovers something like that, he's like, oh, so they
I
just
won't buy
go
it.
over the
But
back.
at the same time, if they don't change things like that, this game will never turn into the game that we want, and stuff
Yeah,
will be locked in
that-
place.
That's
And
also true. So it's actually it will never be good.
something
There will always be
that Chris
someone-
Roberts said during that ATV was the reason why ships come to fruition is because they find a need for a ship. Now, if they ever have the idea to transport a Tonk from planet to planet, they will come up with a ship to do so. We will, we currently see the ships that we have. That's not to say that we'll get ships that can transport tanks, that can transport other things. Anytime there's a need for a ship, which we will see, especially now, because originally when Star Citizen was pitched, ground combat wasn't really supposed to be much of a big thing. It was supposed to be in small areas, if at all. Now it's obviously procedural planets, so they need that's why we're seeing a massive, vast amount of ground vehicles.
Ground
coming to
vehicles,
fruition.
yeah.
So we will see, and it's the same with that tweet that I put out. I was going through the Squadron 42 demo, trying to get the second part of my video together, and I noticed there was the little mining thing where they got the power plant or the battery from to power the lift. Now, to me, I'm looking at that thinking, well, is that mining ship? It looks quite, when you look at the actual design of it, it's got a box on the back which can be hydraulic. You can see the hydraulics on it. It could just be an asset for the sake of the game, but it's got hydraulics on the back to a big box that can be lowered to store whatever mining, whatever they've mined. You've got the tracked vehicles. You've got the power plant. You know where the power plant is. So that to me is saying this could be potentially a mining vehicle that they've snuck in during a demo that we will see later down the line. So whenever there's a need for a ship or a vehicle, they will introduce it. So just the tank may not be transportable yet.
I also think that they might actually use the demos to test the waters for, like, do the people like this ship?
Yeah.
Or like this vehicle in this case, because
Can I
many people responded on the forums like, "Ooh, that vehicle's interesting. I wonder if I can buy it."
Poor man, if he wants to talk about his truck again.
I want to go back to this awesome truck idea. Again, this is my reason that for why the truck vehicles, these type of vehicles need to be in the game, is also for a combination of recovery. So say, for example, you have a crashed ship or salvage vehicles. We all know we've already got the reclaimers and all that sort of stuff, but what about small
But what about the
land-based vehicles?
spaces where the reclaimer can't fly?
Yeah, small land vehicles that can kind of go around and get in, because we've seen the mining vehicle with the tracks and stuff. And I was thinking, potentially you could do kind of vehicles like that again, which are land-based recovery, land-based salvage, land-based repair, and land-based pickup. So literally your vehicle can't be flown away. Maybe the atmosphere is too warped or whatever, but you can pick it up and put it on the back or something, and then
you know what I want to
yourself
see
away.
Is a vehicle.
Thomas, keep the gun on him. He's definitely a criminal.
Just a vehicle like a truck or something without a weapon. Why does every ship, every vehicle have to have a weapon? Because we expect to be in combat, but there's no need. Sometimes you won't see combat.
I can see people that are actually, for example, seriously into racing, taking off the weapons because it's extra mess.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's not a race that requires weapons, take them off.
Yeah,
definitely. More power to the engines, less mass.
I had a friend in the British Army who was a logistics driver. They drove a standard truck HGV in Iraq. Like you see here in the UK with no weapons whatsoever, no armor.
That is needed for transporting troops, for transporting equipment, ammo, health to people who are fighting. They will come about. Ships and vehicles, like the Grey Cat. Sorry, the Grey Cat. We have a Grey Cat that has no weapons.
But
that sort of vehicle will be prevalent in Star Citizen. Vehicles
coming back to
but in general, every
truck.
ship in Star Citizen has weapons, even the civilian ships, because everything has weapons in there because it's a big, bad, dangerous universe. In real life, those trucks are guarded by Humvees, by other military vehicles often.
Like cyclones.
It's not like they're alone.
Tonks.
Yeah. So to come back to Madness's truck, I don't think that truck can ever happen. And the reason for that is because most of the gameplay is going to be off-road. Those trucks can't work off-road because the trailers have such a long wheelbase, so they'll get stuck all the time.
That's a big
but again, for fuck's sake,
design.
It's called
out, guys.
Again,
on the other side, there are
creative solutions hovering
in Australia, and they are off-road pretty much all the time.
Okay, we have dragonflies. We've seen how bad the dragonfly is. We don't need something that's 10 times the size. Okay.
Don't worry, it'll be fixed.
Of course we need it. Come on, man. Look how awesome it will be when that thing will turn around.
But it's the difference between reality and fun, isn't it? If it's ridiculous and like you say, the trailer's going to be so long. If you're going over a sand dune, you are literally every time you get over one sand dune, you're like, yes, let's go. Oh, another one.
I think the reality is,
and then a sandworm will fucking.
I think the reality is it's more of a truck based like the mining type of thing, which would be a repair vehicle or a salvage vehicle that's land based would make more sense in my sense rather than. I mean, I get it. Ideally, I still would love to have that type of vehicle in game, but if I have to choose in terms of what makes more sense for the game at the moment, in terms of what fits a need, then maybe a land based.
I agree with Rory Bellows.
We need a land-based refueling vehicle. We have seen concept. At least we have seen them in concept arts of ships.
I know.
We need an AT-AT. We need walkers, and we are getting walkers, aren't we? I think.
I don't know if they're...
I don't think we need bipedal walkers.
Oh, we do. We do.
No,
we
we
need
don't. Come on, man.
everything.
Even
We
in
need
Star
everything.
Wars, they suck.
They don't need to
No
look like
one
Star Wars.
wants them on the
That's
sides.
it. I mean, a bit of rope and they're gone. So,
I mean, no one wants them. Have you ever looked at the movies? Every side with the giant walkers, with the bipedal walkers, always loses. Yeah, spoiler.
can you buy monorails? That's a good idea.
Not seen Edge
Please
of
can be
Tomorrow.
right now.
They've got kind of like armory suits, and then Metal Gear Ray. Yeah, Metal Gear did kind of lose to Snake. Let's be fair. So Ninja though I would be quite happily with Grey Fox. That kind of suit, body armor suit with the ninja sword in this game. Please make it happen.
So can I just we're talking about simulators, talking about all the different simulator games. Glory says about buying monorails maybe being a train driver. I think monorail simulator for Star Citizen.
And surely it wouldn't be that hard for SIG to implement. Right, I'm sorry, that's something you should never say. I've just triggered every day.
Please don't. Please
I'm
don't.
sorry.
Give
I'm
you
sorry.
CIG yet. Else we have monorails in-game before we have the Banu Merchantman.
3.1 delayed for a year while we wait for monorails.
I think that would be cool though.
Just have the transport monorail so we can go around things for now.
I think before we optimize the game, we should get monorails in and monorail simulator before they even think about getting the frame rate to 60. I think if I control a train, I don't care what the frame rate is.
I love you, bro, but please, no.
No, just no.
If they're gonna do that, then pretty much everyone will be pissed off.
What's so important about frame rates? Jesus.
We're going into questions.
It's nice to have.
Question time.
We're going to question time. So I'm going to start the question time, and then whilst other people know. So throw some questions into the question things. You can put them into chat here with brackets as well. We'll try and pick up on them, but they'll be answered
Exclamation question. I am reading them out. So if you want to put to me.
But I'm going to kick us off with a question. Okay, so, and it's to do with the Banu, because I saw this picture of the bazaar of the Banu, and I know we've got a few Banu people here, so I know that they keep their interest. And it's very simple. There's the bazaar, and this is to do with the kind of, the shops and stuff. And I was thinking, okay, that's great for shops. But I was thinking, what if you wanted to be like this gentleman and run more of a collection? This is the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is known as these characters in the Marvel world is the Collector. And I was wondering, is there anyone here that potentially would, rather than using their Banu to sell stuff, would use it to collect stuff?
I would have a collection of attractive gentlemen at all times.
You're not coming out today.
Hello, Gary. It's your turn today. Put on the underpants, and away we go.
I would not collect gentlemen, but everyone its own thing.
Are you sure, Edison?
Yeah, I'm quite sure. I had a relationship for 7 years, so yeah, I'm quite sure. But I would like to collect like animals you can train.
What would you collect exactly? That was my sorry, I forgot that was going to be the question.
Pink dragon dildos.
Pink dragon dildos.
Space whale penis.
Problem.
You could actually turn it into like a porn museum, like the one in Amsterdam.
Can you have a big dick in front of it?
Like
we've got two Holland people here, so they know exactly.
Holland people.
I don't know anything about it, man. I deny any involvement.
Sorry.
You travel more than any of us, Madness, and you call them Holland people.
Sorry. I'm
Dutch
drunk on slur. It's slurring my words.
Okay.
I drink my slur, and they are Holland people. Do you know
I am from Holland.
The whole point of a Banu, the Banu ship, the Banu, they like to show their wealth. They don't care about something that I can't remember, but they care about what they present to the person. They don't care about hanger flare to the Banu, so they care more about like having like elaborate artifacts to show off, and like their dress code is very much fancy items. So the Banu merchantman would be ideal for having particular artifacts, things of rarity. So a museum would be perfect.
It's like a showing off show on the road.
Crazy
look at this rare giant wolf I have behind me. If you don't listen to what I say and you don't cooperate and give me the fucking prize I want, I'm gonna release him and he's gonna kill you.
Crazy Canuck in chat says I would collect bodies. Now, I used to do that in EVE Online. I used to collect corpses, especially of people who are quite well known in EVE Online. So that might be my thing. I hope we can collect corpses.
Man only with Moist Noodle, though. Man only.
Yes, obviously.
That's quite dark.
Moist Noodle, you do realize that the corpses, you will need to cryo freeze them, else they will rot away.
I'm not fussy.
No,
Really.
everything will moist his noodle.
Formaldehyde, doesn't that sort of keep them looking alive? I don't know. Are we into? Is it narcolepsy or?
That's it. I'll just have like a Benny Merchant just full of Supermac corpses.
Oh God! Yeah, with all the different facial expressions that I've got on the with the condom on my head. Protection, just in case.
Do you know,
In case you can catch anything from a dead body.
Have you seen? There's it's not a particularly good show, but it's called The Watch.
The Asylum.
They find an alien, I think, and they knock it unconscious, and then they take it back to their pool pad, and then they start taking photos, and then the photos kind of get out of hand with the alien, and they start putting it in different poses. They put a cigar in its mouth, and then it wakes up eventually. They pretend to like shag it and stuff. It's just like it's literally that's what's going to happen to Mac's NPC when everyone can get hold of one and figure out how to make him in the game. All the famous streamers, that's what's going to happen. They're going to be bombarded with pictures of people doing violent and horrible things to their NPCs.
And the people are also going to report, Mac attacked me.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything he says.
Only the dumbasses that stream with their main accounts will be that dumb.
But
Why I have multiple.
that was to kick off the question. I really love this character. I think he's a great character in Marvel. I think it's a wonderful concept.
Who's the guy? Who's the actor?
Ben Del Toro or something? Benicio
Del Toro.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I
Cool
butchered
guy.
people's names. But yeah, I think I'd have to dress. I think it would be quite a fun role playing scenario. I'd love to do that for just like a kind of just for a character to create like a collector character and then role play that character in a Banu as that person. I think you could have a lot of fun with him. So
and dress really elaborately.
Yeah, well. Elaborate, like full on peacock. You know, it would be wonderful. I think it would, and you could just because now I'm doing Dungeons and Dragons with Miz. I've started looking at role playing for the StarCitzien and just thinking how much fun it would be to try and come up with characters and role play. And yeah, very very cool. Right, so questions, Mac. Go for it. Let's get some questions in and.
So yeah, exclamation question, no plural, which is the mistake I made.
Ones. Have we got any questions? We've got one.
So it's the first time I've done this, so I'm a bit still like confused with some of the questions. First one,
I think we had a problem.
2,
I think we had a bad problem with the file. Sorry, I'll help you out.
Which make no sense. One of them was, can you guys start a fundraiser to buy me a new headset? I love this headset, even with the crazy shit going on
with the airbags coming out.
Can you guys start a fundraiser to buy Ryan a new headset?
He just needs duct tape.
I want to keep with this because it's pissing so many people off. So
I think Mac gets enough streamers and subs. I think he could probably afford his own headset, right? If he put up a donation.
Say that. Fucking hell.
Mac is probably
225 subs, £2.50, $2.50.
He's got to be partnered soon. He's got to be partnered soon. He better be partnered.
Tomorrow, Mac will open his kissing booth. Every one of you can come visit him and kiss him for $1.
Yeah, I reckon I'll make about $2.
You never know, man. They're crazy people. I wouldn't say that.
I reckon Noodle will sign up twice.
I'll sign up as many times as you need me to, baby.
If I say that all day, will you keep signing up?
Yeah, absolutely. You just keep sending those pictures you've been sending, and I will get these sorted.
Guys, we're not gonna talk about those naked pictures in chat.
Don't worry. I can make dreams happen a bit sooner than that. Here we go. It's not a problem. We can make. Which way we gonna go?
I got. Hang on.
Oh yeah.
That's at least $16 right there.
See, Mac's already making money, man.
Oh yeah, dreams. Screenshot.
The Pornhub dream is coming alive.
You're like, I need all these dead Mac bodies. You don't need dead Macs. I'm happy
16
to
people unsubscribed my channel and 20 people just left the show. Bye everyone. Yeah.
And I'm never coming back to StarCitzien again.
Welcome to the Asylum.
So the next question, because we don't really talk about this guy and we don't like to highlight him, we would skip it. But yes, the name of DS, his surname is a joke on him. It's ironic. We'll leave it at that.
It is quite amusing.
It is ironic.
Yeah. Next
Do you want to
question.
read the next one?
It wasn't that Natalie and Bruglia. No, Alanis Morissette, right?
Okay, so
Wait,
calling all
wait,
devs.
Runic.
Okay, hang on. So calling all
Don't you
devs
think-
today said that they are planning to eventually change stations like Olisar to use hangars instead of landing pads for calling up ships in order to avoid pop-in. Considering it is an online game and pop-in is never entirely avoidable, do you think it really matters if they eliminate ship pop-in? I enjoy the sight of ships descending onto a pad and think that hiding every landing sequence behind doors is an unnecessary step. What are your
I don't.
thoughts?
That's something that I've wondered about for a while. I don't understand
think
why
in
you don't just have like a what are those people that drive your cars away when you turn up at a hotel? You know, one of those
Valet.
people.
I can't think.
Just take your ship and
Valet.
bugger off. A valet, yeah.
Throw your keys to them. Hope they come to catch them because
Just take my
carrot.
carrot. Return later, my man.
Yeah, but to be
Here's
fair,
the tip.
I can see it breaking immersion when the NPC will just fly off like 50 meters past you, and someone else is flying there, and the ship instantly just disappears.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have to
So,
just
so
instantly
for that
disappear.
reason, I think that putting it in a hangar is a better fix for it.
It's similar to what they did with Freelancer, and it worked in Freelancer. So
Yeah,
What
I
do they
didn't
do
have
with
any
freelance?
problems with
Same
it.
thing.
exactly that. You flew into a hole behind doors, essentially. So the doors open, you go in, doors close, boom.
Here's
So, but
my
you get out the
idea.
ship. Then do you walk away from the ship and then because then it will disappear. It has to disappear after a certain amount of time.
No, Freelancer was instance. You just got a cutscene that you landed, and then you could walk around into the ship by clicking the icons.
Because at the moment, like you land at Levski, for example, and you walk away, the ship seems to persist. If you walk out into the elevator, I think as soon as you get in the elevator, the ship
what
will
will
disappear.
what would probably happen is just that. So you go into the elevator, you have so much time to get the fuck out of the hangar.
Yeah, like a time limit before
Yeah.
your ship just because amount of times when you're trying to get everyone into the ship, and then you're waiting so long, your time limits run out, and everyone just appears in Olisar. You're like, we're fucking waiting for
The ship
someone.
does only disappear if someone else at the moment. So it's not the elevator. I think it's if someone else requests to land on the landing pad, or if there's no space on the landing pads anymore, and you were the first one coming in of the 2 landing pads or of the 4 landing pads, your ship will disappear as soon as someone needs to get in there. If no one requests to come in, it will stay there even if you go up and down the elevator or whatever.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, but they can also just do it like as soon as it closes, that will be an instance. The doors just close from above, and even
They
if
could
you
do
go
that.
there,
Yeah,
and
as
your
soon as
ship
no one
still in there,
sees it.
someone else can still land in there without you seeing it and them seeing you.
Yeah. To be fair, I kind of like the way that they manage it with Elite Dangerous, which is just that you sort of land, and then there's an elevator that goes down and tucks the ship away. Boom.
Yeah,
but you can say the same thing happens here. You just don't see it.
Okay, hang on. So,
Because in Elite Dangerous, there's no running around.
to kind of like the idea is no mind. It's a good discussion, guys. For me, the valet idea, I do like the idea of the valet, just as long as Ferris Bueller isn't the person who needs to. Because I know it's going to come back. Regarding the like ships landing on like kind of like a deck and stuff, I kind of see the loss in that. I can see his point. I do like the idea of the hustle and bustle and seeing things taken off, going down, landing. It feels like an aircraft carrier in that sense. My biggest concern is how big will these stations have to be to have? Because at the moment, if you think about it, you've got all these pads with all the ships that can land. You take that away and you have hangars to put them in. Will they be able to have as many ports to land the ships? I'm guessing they're going to have a lot less.
What they will do is they'll have the ships that can land now will have hangars. The ships that cannot land, like the Idris, for example, will have docking collars, which we've seen on the truck stop. We've seen the concept of that, or an image of that, where they have Idris. So if it's a landing pad, and instead of landing pad they turn into hangars, it'll be the same concept. Whatever can fit on a landing pad will fit within the hangar. Whatever can't will just be docked.
I like the idea of the mix. I like the idea of mixing all of them together rather than just having one hangar to have an option of a multitude. You could potentially have, for smaller ships, you could have lots of little pads where all the smaller ships can come and go. The big ships come into a certain area, like, you know, and then they land. But like a kind of like a docking on boats and stuff. And you have to have an organization, and then you have like a different size ships again can be landed in the hangar, and you know, then you could maybe choose when you land, like you said, if you want to. This is what I've always said on the Mobiglass or the HUD stowing, the option to stow. You know, you press a button and you stow, and then your ship gets taken away. Like a valet, effectively, would take your ship away and stow it.
We've seen those. Is it Japan or China? Where I said that weird. Is it Japan or China where you park a car and it gets sort of lifted into this funnel?
They do that in New York.
Do you do it in New York as well?
China there are car parks that do that in New York. Yeah.
Just do that. Something that lowers, closes, disappears.
Yeah. No, I love. Again, that would be very cool. Very, very cool. Love all that stuff. You know, you could watch your ship. You land on the pad, and then your ship gets taken away on the tracks or something behind you, and then disappears and gets loaded, and then you can go and find it, recall it.
But on the question how big the stations are gonna be, they're gonna be massive. Olisar is like a small, really small backwater station in comparison to some of them that they're currently working on. They're actually stations that are like around a fucking planet.
Yeah, like, you know, I never actually thought about that. You just blew my mind.
The planet, you know how big a moon is? Well, a moon is small compared to a planet. Now imagine a station that's all the way around it. There's plenty of space to park. Don't worry about it.
Crazy.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine. Perfect accent to say that.
Thank you.
Don't you bloody worry. There's enough space.
Next question for everyone is from Bangers and Mash, and he says, this is for everyone, he says, what is the best Nicolas Cage movie and why?
Ghost Rider! Because I want to relive that with my space bike.
Your Dragonfly.
Yeah, and I like chains, and I like leather. Oh, sorry, I've ruined it now.
Con Air is probably. I like the mullet. I love that mullet. It didn't suit him, but he looks like. I don't like Nicolas Cage, so the more he looks like a twat, the better.
Wasn't Con Air the one where he absolutely went like crazy? Like I got the whole world in my hands.
I don't even know if I've seen it or not. I'm just saying it because I see he has a mullet.
What about Face Off? Face Off was good.
We're going on two tangents today. What's the next question, Ryan?
Bring it back.
I like that. I like that question. I like some of Nicolas Cage's movies.
Yeah. You were
I don't know who Nicolas Cage is, man. I know the name, but I can't even think of any films except Ghost Rider.
Oh, sorry. I see the questions now. What the fuck were I reading up there?
I see
your name. I was reading what's your name.
Lord of War was a good one recently, and then The Bad Lieutenant was quite fun. Obviously, Face Off is fun. Con Air are amazing.
Do you know who a producer for Lord of War is?
Chris Roberts.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I like that one.
Chris Roberts.
Wait, Chris Roberts was the producer of Lord of War?
Yes,
he was one of the producers for Lord of War, yeah.
Whoa. That's awesome.
There you go.
Cage is one of those annoying people. He does shit movies, tons of shit movies, and then he suddenly throws in like some epic movie in the middle of somewhere, and he's like, because I love The Rock. Okay, I love The Rock with Sean Connery. One of my favorite. Like I absolutely.
Oh, sorry, not Dwayne Johnson.
No.
Oh, that's what I assumed as well.
He's all right too. No, the Rock, Alcatraz with Sean. This is showing my age. The Rock with Sean Connery, and it was amazing. Basically, Sean Connery's character is basically 007. I don't know if anyone noticed. He is literally a spy with the same code name as 007 who's been locked away. You know, he's literally playing James Bond. It's a kind of an Easter egg type thing. But yeah, and it's fantastic. I love that film. So yeah.
I love Roderick, but you don't hear me talking about him all the time.
Next question.
Anyway, new question.
Yes.
Go for it.
I don't know if this is relevant, but give the person next to you a spirit animal. What would it be?
Which way are we going?
Who's next to who? So Madness, you give me a spirit animal. I'll give Trent one.
Yeah.
He'll give Soul Moist.
Yeah.
Back to Madness.
Spirit animal. I would give Mac a squirrel.
You
so he can hide his nuts, something to hide his nuts with.
Yeah, no, I can see that one. I need to hide my nuts. I would give Edison a panda because he seems so like nice and calm, but really I reckon he's got this hidden agenda where he wants to murder everybody in the game. And I think a panda is capable of doing so.
He's right. I am cute and fluffy. Just don't piss me off. And
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
exactly. And then you'll get panda wrath. So
But now my problem is I wanted to name Sol a panda. Well, now he apparently is changed into a bear who just awoken out of a winter sleep. At least that's... So give him food, keep him happy, but don't disturb him too much, I think.
I can see the bear insult. Yeah. Insult. Like actually
Do I
insult.
now need to give Moise a spirit animal? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Think carefully, my friend.
Sonic!
Peacock!
I think,
Whoa.
I think he would be a good Tasmanian devil.
Ooh, I like that.
But those are cute, man.
Yeah, until you come too close and they bite.
But they don't bite that hard.
Yeah. You are a
Moise
ninja squirrel
Moise
or a
bites
honey
as hard
badger.
as you ask him
Super
to,
Mac.
Edison.
Squirrel or a honey badger. That's what Mac is.
Can I
didn't bite
choose?
Tasmanian
Moise
devil.
wants to
They
give
don't
you
bite
one,
too
man,
hard.
madness.
Oh, here we go.
I think that Sol would be a bison. Big and strong. Big, strong
No,
bison.
you need to give one to Madness.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God. In that case, a ferret.
ferret. Yeah. Okay.
Ferrets are fucking awesome.
Ferrets are amazing. Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Lovely.
They unblock toilets and all sorts of shit. So
And they have
Make shit happen.
They have
when they're not sleeping.
okay. Anyway,
Good
next
stuff.
question.
Next
Fuck that
question.
shit.
Yeah.
So another
question.
sale with Reliant variants and whole series available. That's another question.
Oh, but no, there's a good point though about the Reliant.
Next.
I don't know what you guys thought about the Reliant, but I think that ship needs some serious love.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bit of an update for the Reliant, because again, it was kind of concepted and brought out in the midst of everything else getting its updates and not quite being there.
I bet it ends up being a completely different ship.
What do you mean, like visibly?
They just completely change it.
Like, fuck it didn't work. Just change.
Just
It doesn't
change
fly
it.
well at all. When you go into landing mode, you're like this, and which doesn't seem quite a lot. But when your axis is this,
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It flies like crap at the moment.
it does.
Compared to every other ship, it looks like it should be like really tanky, but it cannot take a fucking hit, even in 2.6.3
It's shit.
or something. It has no firepower in comparison to the other ships. It has a shitty cargo bay for a mini hauler. It's supposed to be the step up from the Aurora, but you're better off with an Aurora for the cargo. So
It's
It's
tankier
pretty
than
much-
Aurora.
it looks nice, and the idea is nice about it turning, but
Jean Tech.
the problem is it's not implemented well, and I think this ship needs a rework.
I never see them.
But
in
after the
MCU.
Ban Enrichment is released.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, I know some people have bought it, but I would be quite happy to see it go and come back with something better. Honestly, I really
Yeah.
would. Completely
Well, I own the Mako, and I think that would be. I mean, the idea of recording and editing videos in game. It has to be fun, and I don't want to sit like I do that now. So
I would prefer to see the Mako in a Titan chassis, personally.
that would be cool. But then I already own a Titan, and I just think I don't want to have a Titan and like the recording version of it. I like the idea of it being a completely different ship.
My thinking is that I would
Where's
like
the
a ship
thought?
where you could have like an editing team in the back, or like a team of people. So you have the pilot at the front, and then you have an editor. You have
like a
camera
director.
operator. Yeah, exactly.
That's
know.
a good
That-
idea.
But I would say that a ship like that, if you also wanted to stream it at the same time, would likely need to be a bit bigger than even the Avenger now. But I would say something between the Avenger and a Freelancer, just especially for that, I would dig it. And
Well, it's
I'm not-
got to be able to keep up to a
yeah,
point.
but just
Right.
give it really
necessarily.
shitty weapons.
Because if you actually look at a lot of like motorbike racing and whatnot, they normally use things like Volvos, but they have a chain of them. So the bikes go past and
you
the
don't
cars
keep
will
up with them.
follow to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So
I suppose most actual races now have their own onboard cameras. Like if you watch F1,
yeah,
the races have their own cameras anyway, so you get the inaction. It's more for like
boarding drones.
Drones for record. That's perfect.
Why not?
The Mako is literally obsolete for drones and in-car recording. So what the fuck is the point of the Mako?
I mean, they're fast, they're small, they're light.
Yeah.
And if someone fucks up, you lose a drone instead of getting
at two people. Yeah. It's like you just doing a race, the Murray Cup, and then like the Reliant flies into an advertising sign. That usually in the real world would be like, oh, what a tragedy. In Star Citizen, it's like,
Be applauding.
Yeah, like what a knob. Who was the
Well
pilot
done.
there? Let's name them.
We don't need like.
Depends on the commercial, man. If it's like a commercial, Reliant now even Reliant
How
Core,
ironic
the
would it be
safest flying
Orion
way
to
to
the
transport your cargo. Reliant crashes in. I would absolutely love it.
Oh, the irony would be perfect. But
My last
also the
thought
whole
on the
series.
Reliant, before you do the whole series, I was going to say my last thought on the Reliant is the Reliant is the ship that you give your friend that you hate, that always seems to follow you into games that you don't want them to follow you into. You say to them, this is the best ship, this is the ship you need to get, is the Reliant. That's the one you tell them to buy, and that's the one that they realise they hate it, and then they fuck off and never play Star Citizen again. You're like, yes.
Funnily enough, Madness, the Reliant Mako was bought and gifted to me. So you might have a point there. Let me ever think about the guy that gifted though.
To be fair, Mac, when they gifted you, the Reliant wasn't in game yet, so
not true.
They,
So
they didn't know it flew like shit. But if I would need to choose at this moment between getting an Aurora LN or even any Aurora or Reliant for free, the only reason I would choose the Reliant is because I can CCU it to another ship, and because it's worth more.
More
valuable. More money. That's simply it. But if I could not trade it in or CCU it, I would choose the Aurora every time because it just flies better at this time.
It's a beautiful ship.
Is it the same value as the Avenger? It is, right? $90 roughly.
Yeah, it as a starter ship, it's a bit more pricey. It's kind of like Avenger Reliant. It's supposed to be a tier 1.
Cutlass. It's almost a Cutlass price. Cutlass was $100. I always remember going, like, why would you? Yeah, I've never got it. I don't like it at all. I think it's a pile of poo.
It used to be cheaper. It used to be 65.
Yes, that rings a bell. The Reliant original Mako.
What were you going to say about the whole C-Mac before we move on?
The hull was also another sale. Hull. I think the hull will go on sale when we likely see the whole C come into the game, which should be quite soon. Didn't you say, Hero, that Edison, that it's close?
They were at the same stage yesterday as the Reclaimer, but I don't know if they're the teams that work on both ships because.
Yeah, they never
some of the people are shared, and what I hear so far is that the Reclaimer is getting pushed in front of the whole C, so it depends on how fast the Reclaimer is done if we also get the whole C.
You know,
assuming no problems show up.
The amount of times I always say something, you go, nope, you're wrong. And I said, I reckon the Reclaimer will come before the hull. And you were like, no, the hull's coming. For once.
At that time, the hull was in front of the Reclaimer in development. And that's what I said. No, the hull at this moment is in front of it. But you never know. That's the problem with CIG. You never know which ships they're going to push.
True. So I expect... anyway, we'll move on from that one.
Like, the 300 is a ugly one. Yeah, go for it.
Next question. Is mining still coming in 3.1?
No.
3.2 is when we'll see tier 0 of mining, which may not be the prospect of mining. It may just be, it should be, I expect it will be, but it could just be very, very, very it will be the very, very basics of mining.
Everyone's
3.1.
Everyone's still got the mindset of pre-quarterly release, so something to bear in mind is that now, because of quarterly releases, everything has moved around. So
yes, it's all changed now this quarter.
I think the reality is that 3.0, they released it to us probably not as good as they would have liked to have released it to us, but they knew that they had to because it had been it was getting silly long. So I think they got it out to us. But if they could have carried on a bit longer, they probably would have waited a bit longer.
Yeah, but
because
I agree.
they would have liked to given us. I think they'd like to try and keep to the schedule that they wanted to, but I think the reality is that they just have had to push things back. They need
true.
to get polished.
This is the reality of game development. They originally, like 3.1 was supposed to be mining. Then they got the prospector ready, and they were like, right, we're going to try and get 3.0 mining into 3.0. That is the intention. Didn't happen. Everyone was like, oh, they said it was going to be 3.0. Originally, it was 3.1. Why does no one mention that? But the fact is, it got pushed back again from 3.0. Now it's not coming in 3.1 because they want to optimize the patch they have. Everything, like they say, it's iterative. Everything's iterative in game development. It's just not ready until it's ready. Basically.
Yeah, it's the double-edged sword at the moment because we're in open development and because we are playing the game and we are ambassadors for the game, and if the game is shit, which currently at the moment it's not shit, but it's a little boring. They know that they need, and they know they need to fix things like the combat, and they need to fix, that there are bugs that are breaking things, and they need to have it fixed. They just do, and so that means we have to wait a little bit longer. It's that simple.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it, it's the reality.
It is kind of, do we have an optimized game or do we have more content? And I reckon about 80% would say optimized.
I cannot bring myself to get any of my friends into StarCitzien while it's in the state that it's in.
No, it's embarrassing to actually get people into the game right now.
Unless
I always
you don't
say
want to play it later into the game.
Yeah, no, I always say join the game as early as possible, but the fact is, you're not going to.
I would say buy a package and just
wait. Yeah,
wait.
Yeah, but you say that. Not everybody. I know it sounds daft, but not everybody has like $45 or whatever it is to throw in. It's to some people, $45 is an amount of money that they have to think about. And when it's something that you can't get enjoyment out of, then they're not going to do it.
And there's still that sort of skepticism as to whether it'll work in the brief outsider group. But the fact is, the amount of giveaways that happen in the StarCitzien community. Don't buy a game. Wait until you feel like you're desperate to buy, and if you haven't won anything by then, buy it.
That's something that I love about StarCitzien. The amount of people that actually come into my channel, they don't even have game packages.
Yes.
They come in because they're genuinely interested, and I've actually given away quite a few.
That might also be the reason they're coming in a little bit. Moist to try and win the game.
Moist,
because he gives away chips.
Just putting it out there that they're coming in without game packages, and you're giving away a game package could be a reason that they're coming in to potentially win one as well. But
Moist Noodle is the biggest Oprah of Twitch I have ever known.
You can have a game package, and you can have a game package.
You were there, like with subs, and you're even doing it tonight. You just do it. You get bored because you have nothing to say about the subject, and you're like, fuck it, I'll just give someone a sub. I'm so bored. Let's just give someone a sub. You can have a sub. You can have a sub. You can.
The crazy thing with my new job, I live around the corner from where I live, so I get all my deliveries to work.
You live around the corner from where you live.
They're already complaining about the amount of deliveries that I get in. Just gotta get bored, so I order stuff on Amazon.
What, while you're working? While you're supposed to be working?
Well, I see it as more of a hobby. I was explaining this to my manager today. Oh no! Oh well, yeah. Shopping's a hobby as well, really, isn't it? But yeah.
Go on, your manager.
Yeah, I explained to my manager that I felt the job is more of a hobby than anything, really.
Did he take to that well? Because if I was employing you and he said it's more of a hobby, I would be like, that's good because you have a passion. But if you sit there chilling out like you would for a hobby,
he's been doing the job for 50. He's doing the job for 50 years, sweating his guts to try and get promoted to that position he's just got. It's kind of like a hobby,
No, I'm really enjoying it. Today, like for those that don't know, I work in e-waste recycling and reuse, and so computers,
electronic waste,
robot piss.
And I had somebody bring in this really old gaming machine today. It had 2 GB of DDR3 RAM and a GTX 275. And I'm going to keep that thing. It's going to live on my desk, and that's going to be my baby. And like the guy who works in IT, specifically said, this isn't a museum, right?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Because I already have
that shit.
I already have a
behind
NES and the Atari cartridges all over my desk.
I was about to say, I can see the behind your green screen is just going to be like literally a mountain of.
Have you not seen my console
trash.
collection? I already bought like every console that we had there, and I have a ridiculous console collection already.
It's like you see these.
To be
people,
fair,
like,
sometimes people just throw away stuff or sell it like really amazingly cheap.
Yeah.
I got my motherboard, my cooler, and my CPU for 200 euros. Well, at the time, only the CPU was 700.
You would not believe how many Xeon processors we get coming in. It's nuts.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I've got
it's
one right
crazy.
here. It's sat right next to me. Hello, baby. You're such a lovely little Xeon. Don't shh. Moist Noodle's not having you. You're mine.
You're
It's
mine.
not anywhere near.
Keep away
You're my
from
wife
it.
now, Dave.
Keep away from my Xeon processor.
Next question
Next
is,
question, yeah.
I think we'll leave that one. Any news on the Vanguard variant? No, I don't think so.
I haven't
Nope.
heard anything.
No.
Has anyone heard anything?
You sometimes wonder how people come up with these questions.
I would love there to be some news on the Vanguard variant, because the Vanguard needs, again, there's so many. The thing is, there is a lot of ships in the game that they've got, which they could probably do with reworking, but obviously they like to keep bringing these new ships. But there is a few ships that need. The Vanguard needs a little bit of.
The 300 series needs an update, and it's
300
one of the
badly.
original ships.
Yeah.
The
And it's kind
freelancer,
of like, well, the freelancer
freelancer variants.
Yeah.
The variants.
Also, not
There's a
even,
lot.
and that was one of the 5 original pledge ships, I believe.
Yeah.
It was, yep. And that's only just had the update. Well, it's a while back.
Yeah,
Next
but
question.
I mean none of the variants. So
No,
No, we haven't
all
got-
the variants.
No, the
yeah.
Misk. We haven't got the Max and the. Is the Durin? Is the Durin? Is that the one that's in now?
No, just the base.
Because I don't have.
no
I didn't buy the
special name.
freelancer. I just didn't like the.
I
fact
own
that
the
you
dirt.
could
I
carry
own the dirt,
vehicles.
and I would like to see the new one. If you've seen it, can you? I don't know if the old freelancer is still in hangar, but if you compare them,
yes, at least the variants.
night and day. But that stairs at the front landing gear is beautiful. I love those stairs.
Mhm.
They've taken them away.
Well, we might get some more ships with wheels in now that we've seen that the fact that wheels are a thing and got confirmed
Yeah,
by Sherman.
Sherman was like, "Wheels are a
Confirmed.
thing," and then disappeared.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Just
It was like,
slams us in the face and then fucks
all right,
us.
thanks.
Yes,
Sherman. See you later,
All
mate."
ships now have wheels confirmed.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta go back to work. He's probably at work. He's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
fuck it. You're talking about wheels. No, back
Can
to
you
work.
talk more, Sherman? No, fuck you. Okay, fine.
Back to work.
What's your insider info on the F8 that I told you about? It's about this civilian, I think, Edison, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the current schedule in CIG, in internal memos, they actually have the F8-C Lightning. So my suggestion is that it's probably the civilian version, because the only other ship we see that with is the Hornet. So
It does make
I
sense.
think it's very likely we will get a sale of this ship sometime in the future.
As a civilian version, not the military version, which a lot of people don't like, which I can
I
understand
agree.
because it was
Well,
supposed to be.
we don't actually know if the difference is purely systematic, or it could be from everything. It could be
Yeah, it could be a
actually
lot.
the same ship, but one is for, let's say, Squadron 42, because all it says is internal development.
And also, don't forget that the way the components are broken down are into civilian, performance, military, industrial, that sort of thing. So currently, that means nothing. Nobody really cares about that sort of thing. But when it comes to the
Actually,
actual
all it
performance of
means,
the game,
it doesn't come with military components, most
of course,
likely.
yeah, the civilian version will not come with the military components. The mill version will. So
Yeah,
it'll have
but
much better
Let's
performance.
say you can buy it, those components, and what is the reason? But some people are like, well, no, because it's a military ship. But then I'm like, look at the other military ships we have.
Yeah.
They sold a fucking Polaris. They sold Hammerheads. Why the fuck
Hey.
wouldn't they sell this?
If they can make money off of this ship, which they know they can make money off this ship,
They will
They
do.
will sell.
They
this
will
ship.
sell
There's
it.
no question. They will sell this ship. It
Yeah.
may not necessarily have certain hard points somewhere, or it might not necessarily have this combination of weapons, but or this colorway. or might be a bit heavier, or maybe a little bit less tanky. Who knows? Might not have. The
I
heavy
think
armor
most
plating.
likely they will just
Chunky.
put different components in it.
That would be it. I think reality-wise, this will be, and I firmly believe you will be able to make this civilian one pretty much almost 99.9% the same as probably the one in Squadron.
You
42,
sounded
but-
so much like board gaming.
Yeah,
I'm quite sure they're gonna sell this because
But it would
we
cost
had
a
the
lot more.
Vanguard, the Polaris, the Idris, the Javelin, all military ships that in real life civilians would have no way gotten access to. They all sold them, and they all sold very well. So why wouldn't they sell this? They sell it as a fucking tank. What is a legit reason for a civilian to own a tank in the world?
To
I
blow
really-
shit up.
I really don't like the front of this ship. I really don't like the front.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same, continuing our conversation from last week. Those wing bits on the side, how are you going to see
Just-
through them?
I just don't like it.
But
I
the
really
ships-
don't like the front of it.
They're like mullet chops.
Just awful.
You know where you
It
get the
might be.
big old.
This might be.
To be
I love,
fair,
like
I love
Lemmy.
all of this. Is amazing. This whole back section is amazing. I like the way, but I just think it's like, oh, what's happened?
It looks like a sleek version of Lemmy from Motorhead.
I think they did it on purpose.
I
You know,
like the
when you
food as
lose your
well.
weapons, you can still ram without actually getting your cockpit hit. It's a tactical advantage.
True, do that. Although
I like ships
If that was the
ram.
if that was the reason, I'd like to know if that's the if that's the reason for it. Then fine. I'm not
No,
sure. ramming-
I doubt
using your
they
guns on
have
the
an
front.
idea of ramming.
Madness, can you move?
No.
the
Ramming
Vandal do.
is a valid strategy
Sorry, I can't
because
hear
the
you.
Vandal blade
Yes.
actually
The Van
kill
Duel
people.
do. The Van
It's
Duel have that.
yeah, it's a
the
valid
hammerhead.
but why would you?
Why the hell do you
risk
think it's on the bottom?
damaging such an expensive ship?
Yeah. The Van Duel have the idea, the UAE don't, because most of their ships,
The
like in the real
UAE
world, would
do.
cost millions of dollars.
Yeah, but to be fair, look at the hammerhead. It has a reinforced frontal section, and the bridge is not in the front; it's underneath.
But it has the mass behind it,
yeah,
which
it has
this
the mass.
ship doesn't have.
This ship is heavy for its size.
Like the hammerhead can ram something, and you wouldn't likely do that much damage to the hammerhead. Plus, it's reinforced from what we know. Whereas this ship, I doubt very much
It'll crumble.
has that level. Yeah, it's just going to crumple.
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
to be fair, we don't know how strong the internal structure is,
We're
but
just
I think it's
completely
likely
guessing
just.
here. Wait for.
You know,
wait,
yes,
where are you?
yeah.
The Hammerhead
Tell
is
us about
designed
it.
by Brits, who are renowned for headbutting people.
I can't wait for
FA
British
Lightning.
Glasgow.
The F8 Lightning is designed by the Americans, who are not renowned for headbutting. We know in UK fighting,
They're renowned for shooting people.
nothing
Building walls.
on is a good response. So having something behind you, like 16,000 ton or what more, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
If important question
Oh,
brackets,
do we have?
which clearly means it's not an important question.
Shall we skip that one just because it's not important?
Yeah,
question?
it's
Shall we
just
skip
important.
it?
It cannot be important, man.
Okay.
Just skip it.
You can only use one ship for your whole Star Citizen life. What and why? Reclaimer.
Socks.
Done.
I think for me, it would have to be the Reclaimer, just so I can, if other people are in the same situation, I can just eat their ships to make them sad.
890 jump. I just fly away from the reclaimers and live in luxury.
You can't catch me.
I'll wait till you're
I just stay out of your range.
We'll
with the gun.
double team you, Hero. We'll
Yeah.
I just
Me and
quantum
Mike do
drive
the like-
away, man.
Okay, yeah, good point.
That's fine. Me and Ryan will just be masturbating in our captain's quarters
We'll just be
together.
waiting for the
Yeah,
xenomorph
if
to
you're
join.
happy
Wait for the
with
right
that,
moment.
I'm fine with it too.
Can we get a xenomorph, please?
Are you still
I'm
alive,
never
mate?
going to monetize this show ever in my life.
We've seen guns. We've heard about masturbation. Yeah,
I would
it's gonna
sponsor this show.
Listen, you won't get any monetization unless you have 1,000 views in
All
YouTube,
you
by the
need,
way.
all you need is
I
Voice
know,
Noodle to
what are you
sponsor, and that you.
Hang on. Hang on. I'll sponsor you now. Hang
The
on.
Asylum, sponsored by Durex Lube.
Yeah. Oh
That's
Jesus.
an old. That's
Next question.
an old one. We've done that one before, right at the very, very beginning.
Okay, we have a good question.
Sponsored
We
by
have a
KY.
good question. When do you think they will? Sorry, did someone else have a comment for the last one? Seriously?
Which one was the last
No.
one?
It doesn't matter. When do you think they will expand flora and fauna on moons, planets, and asteroids?
After all, the ships are in game, and we have more planets, and actually, they have a reason to do it.
I thought they showed us it on the. I thought it was on the thing, on the monthly thing. They showed us that they've already updated a lot of the environmental stuff.
We've seen a lot of flora, especially. We've seen a whole base level of flora expected for, was it Crusader, I think.
I'm going to. Yeah, when we get the planets, will be when we first see the real iterations of how much flora they've done. That gives a real sense of if they've done a lot or if they've done fuck all. So that will be in June, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So 3.2.
3.2.
So
I had a date with Flora the other day.
I'm going to say June. Which when we'll get some.
Good.
What about fauna? So, and we've seen the Hurston little critters that crawl about. We want xenomorphs. Me and Moist Noodle more than most.
Yeah.
Just for sexual reasons.
I think that the reality is I think that'll come in September because they've got to do all this stuff with container, all that stuff to do with optimizing and streaming stuff. And I think you start to, there's a lot of NPC, little NPC, even though it's still more information to be put into it. I think that will be, if it's not in by September, it won't be until after 4.0, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot more other things important, like female characters and other things that will be far more important to get in the game, proper AI NPCs and all that stuff before we get that in. So if it's not in by September, next year.
I agree with that. I think fauna at the moment for planets and not even flora are not really that priority in terms of ships optimizing. Other mechanics need to be in before we even start implementing things that we have to fight. Like have an FPS combat against fauna that we can't even fight against because the FPS mechanics are not quite right. Makes no sense.
But you said you love to fight a xenomorph at 2 FPS.
I would fight it anyway. But
when you say fight,
I would run from it. I want to live, man.
So the door opens, the door slides open, and a xenomorph is stood there, and me and Moist are like,
"Hello, Dave."
Hello, Dave. Come on in, and he's like, "Right, yeah, that's cool. That's what we ordered." And then everyone
the thing that comes out of the mouth, the pointy, punchy thing.
I don't want to know what you have in mind for that. I would rather be ignorant till the time. To be honest,
isn't that the pizza delivery xenomorph? That's where the pizza comes from. And delivers the pizza. And you're like, thanks.
But I didn't order this. Okay, I did. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Salami pizza here for you.
This is Spaceballs, the movie.
And then he opens the pizza box and there's a face hugger in it.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't mind a face hugger.
Whoops.
He got his penis sticking through the box.
If you got on was it Grifter? Grindr, and you saw a face hugger.
Don't pretend you don't know what it is, Matt. Come on. Don't you pretend. I was like, very smoothly done, sir. Very smooth.
How do you think the aliens get inside?
I've seen you on this page. This guy looks just like you.
If you see me, just swipe left. AUC. Go on. What were you saying?
Just so you know, right, my Grindr profile picture is me with the puppy. Just so you don't swipe. You know what it's like when you just keep swiping, right, and then you accidentally swipe right for somebody quite attractive. I don't want that to happen when you.
So you think a puppy's gonna be? It's gonna like they have a puppy.
You would not. It attracts a lot of attention.
The only thing, if there's a girl on there, oh, she's horse. No. Ooh, she has a dog. Yes.
Yeah. Would you pay the dog on the date? If you went on a first date, would you bring the dog with you?
Absolutely.
Audio Life asks, you swiping Grindr? Question mark. This person clearly uses Grindr because no, you don't swipe in Grindr.
I do. What do you do?
Yeah, it's literally just. Hang on, let me show you. All right, so I'm going to educate you. Oh, there's actually quite a lot of nipple.
This is where I see my little baby brother on this. Be like,
there's lots of nipple, so I won't. Actually, no. This is
no nipples, please.
There's no nipple.
We had a gun shown.
There's no nipple here, right? But it basically shows you people within a certain distance of you. So the closest being
Right
at the
behind
top,
you.
and pretty much.
I'll take him.
The nearest person is 348 meters away. So
That's kind of
That's
crazy.
your
Looking
neighbor.
outside your window. Yeah.
pretty much. And the next one is 456. The next one
I
is
see you, moist noodle.
525. Yeah, so
Moist noodle.
Happily married, 3 kids,
If you're gay, it's
450
so much
meters
easier
away.
to get a date.
well, it's not really
God.
dating now, is it? It's just
Well,
Just
forget
fuck it
fuck
without
that.
any, with even not knowing the name. Next question.
Next, please, let's move
no.
on.
probably for the best.
No
Yes.
alpha UEC ship purchasing in 3.1. How big a deal is this? Is there enough to do until 3.2 without
I
progression?
think we answered
no.
that earlier, right?
No,
I answered
Yeah.
it earlier, but
There
I'm
is
not
not enough.
happy about it. There's not enough. It's very disappointing, and they need to eventually just bite the bullet, bite onto that pillow, and accept that they're they're going to have to give up on these
just give
ships.
us,
We have
give
to
the
give us
people
the
the
ships to
ability
buy
for the
again.
ships.
Or give them.
There
give
is-
it
I'm
to
not
us.
saying this for myself because
Free.
I have most of the ships I want to fly with, so at least those that are flyable.
We forget.
But
we
for the
forget.
people
Take all your
that only
ships
have
away.
one ship, give them more ships.
Play a
Yeah.
week.
Very
Play a week.
nice.
All of us here who play Star Citizen, you play a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks with just an Aurora. And
No,
tell me how
thank
much
you.
fun that would be.
No, there's not
so
enough.
Thank
my-
you. I don't,
My
that's literally one of the few ships I don't own.
I bought my friend Cecil, who's one of my mods, a starter package, so he has an Aurora, and it took him like a week to make a few thousand. Playing realistically, it is really difficult.
Yeah, and if
Pretty much.
And if I do that, and I start get in my freelancer in one run, I make more with just 5k starting credits that he makes in a week. Within 1 hour.
The
There is
easiest
not
fix,
enough.
CIG, when you do the launch, the first quarter, give everybody either all the ships or give them a good selection of free ships that everyone can fly for the month for the next.
You know,
couple
there's
months
nothing
until
wrong.
the
Like when you're
No,
testing
no, no,
PTU
no.
or either copy,
I
you get access
completely-
to all.
I completely disagree on that one. I completely.
No, you ain't
disagree
playing
on that
it,
one.
so you haven't played the game for ages. When was the last time you played Star
Listen,
Citizen?
how do you fucking know that? That's for one. How do you
You
fucking
said
know
at the
that?
beginning of the stream.
The first time that I spoke to you is when you needed something from me to get on this fucking show yesterday, you ball bag. Next thing. The next thing is, people are investing money, obviously, in the alpha development, but also in the ships that they get with it. So they get a bit of an advantage, so to say. So to then say, no, you're not getting that address for the first 2 months. What we're gonna give everyone these ships. What is the point of progression in an MMO then? You know what I mean?
I'm not talking. I'm
but
talking
you don't
about
need to do it
between
with
the
every
patches
ship.
Now. We're just talking about doing the patches now. I'm not talking about when the game goes live or having an Idris.
I
Or
thought that
I'm
someone
saying
said when the game goes live. Just Ryan said when the game goes live. He said.
No.
No.
It's not about that, Saul. I'm talking about between the patches between now and getting to the 3.2 patch. Well,
Yeah,
the fact
right
is that
now-
no one's got
Implement
anything to
something
play.
like the subsystem,
some
where every
ships.
month they have a certain ship that is available to everyone and not only subs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. Give them a cutlass. Give
Yeah.
everyone a ship that's able to do the mechanics that the
Everything.
game is built for now, which is cargo, and it's got a bit of combat in it, so you can do a bit of combat. It's got multiplayer. You can have more than your mates one in it, and you can really show off the game.
But this comes back to what I said in the beginning: the loaner ships that we got for ships that we don't have yet are absolutely horrendous for the game mechanics that we have now. They're
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah,
horrendous.
I have like 7 Starfarers or something as loaner or something
Yeah,
like that.
bullshit.
And I'm
And
like,
I
why?
mentioned, I mentioned last week. I reckon the reason for that is because they haven't really thought it through, and they've basically compiled a schedule of loaner ships, not really thinking about what mechanics will be available at the time. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so next question.
Can we expect?
How many questions do we have? Because I think we're going to close them down. I think we'll close it down now. This
This
almost,
is 2 more.
no more. This is it.
Yeah. So, can we expect quality of life patch for Arena Commander? I love to have customizable difficulty waves and matchmaking, so the Aurora pilots don't get paired with Super Hornets.
No,
It's a good point, but
This is what
I
I was
think-
saying earlier. Yeah, go for it. Go,
I
one at a
don't
time.
think this will see anytime soon. Pretty easy. It has no currently
Madness, what are you holding, if I may
Yes,
ask?
an extra mod, but it's not the focus as this time. The focus will be the Precision Universe, and
Yeah.
there
the
we will
Transformer?
get the quality of life patches before, most
Oh.
likely, unless it's something that they can fix by fixing something in the Precision Universe. I wouldn't count on it.
It's like you say, it's kind of like the idea is they would have Arena Commander for testing flight, they would have Star Marine for testing the FPS, but they soon realized that the Persistent Universe is the best place to test everything, because you have multiplayer, you have other things that I can't think of. So it's definitely there's at the moment there's no real need for Arena Commander or Star Marine, but there is in a way. So yeah, it's the sort of thing that they will address later on in life, later on down the line, when they feel like.
There's a big reason, Mac, for having Arena Commander, because it's the idea in free flight. It's an ability to be able to experiment, test, and run ships without having to worry about having to claim and wait 7 minutes every second for the ship.
That's the intention, isn't it?
That's
Arena
what's good. That's what's good about Arena Commander. It's the ability to harness, and practice all your skill sets without the financial cost within the Persistent Universe. And
The downside is there's one big downside that only applies to single seat ships. As soon as you put a ship in with turrets, that option goes away, because there's no way you can currently have other people join you in the turret. So they cannot balance even the combat in it, because the multiplayer ships are not in, at least not viable in it at this time.
I completely agree. I think the reality is when they've got the cutlasses and some of these ships with turrets in, it would again. I think Arena Commander needs to be Arena Commander and Star Marine. They really need to make these just not little shitty add-ons. They really need to get in there and make them good, because it's such, in my opinion, it's a very important part of the game. It's a real training ground without the cost of the Persistent Universe. So
I agree with that.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
One of the things that I noticed in this week's ATV is that I think one of the devs mentioned that they purely work on Star Marine. So if that's the case, if they have people dedicated to Star Marine, surely they have people dedicated to Arena Commander, at which point, why haven't we really seen much development?
I think it's all been about getting that 2.0 iron system and getting Persistent Universe.
I think it's just on a lower priority list, but I would say even if they would just give us NPC gunners like Port All-Star at this moment has in the bigger ships, then at least people can try out those ships a bit. Because at the moment, if you go into Arena Commander in a big ship, you're fucked, because someone's just gonna sit on your tail.
Yeah,
you will never be able to out-turn a Hornet in something like a Starfarer, and they will just blow you up. You have no chance. It's just the time like, oh, well, they're on my tail now. Well, I pretty much let me go to the toilet because I'm gonna blow up.
This comes back to my whole thought about like the whole Arena Commander, kind of the way the Arena Commander works and the way that it's set up with the rec and everything else is interesting, but a part of me is kind of like it's very flawed with the fact that obviously this mechanic of wreck needs to work, which it hasn't been working very well. Wrecking ships and vehicles, that's broken. So many bugs with it. The reality is that I think they've just, like we say, it's just not a priority. I think they've just put it to the side, and maybe they'll come back to it at some point. It would be nice to know. I hear what he's saying. I agree. But at the end of the day, if you're an Aurora pilot, you got fuck all chance in AC against other people. You'll be just decimated.
I'm pretty sure they will come back to it, because it was always supposed to be a feature of the game, wasn't it? It was supposed to be the computer game within the game. You know,
it will. Sorry, when I say it's got no importance, it does have importance, because also it kind of, the people who have the feel like they want to fight both Star Marine FPS and in like space combat, it kind of, if you want to have that feeling of I want to have some good FPS combat, you can have that feeling, and then you can enter the real world, which is the PU, and it kind of quashes that drive to want to fight and kill other people. So it should, in a way, stop people from PvP a little more, like, I guess, the real world. I play games because if I didn't, I would kill people.
No, but shooting people in real life will get you arrested and put into jail. And shooting people in games, people are like, yeah, he killed someone in the game, no one cares.
They won't. That's cool. No one will catch me.
But what I mean, as soon as the bigger ships also get viable in those modes, let's say I want to take my Starfarer and I want to train to defend my Starfarer with a group of my friends. There's no way they can currently go in with me in the same ship. So balance-wise, we cannot test out the bigger ships, only the small single-seat ships.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. It would be nice to have a training mode for Star Marine.
You've got free flight. You've got free flight.
Yeah, you got free fly, but you cannot train with your people to. Let's say the turrets work fine.
What do you mean your people?
Will still. Now let's say we are all together and we want to run one ship. Mac is gonna be in the turrets. Moist Noodle is gonna be the scanner that will try to get all the enemies and tell the pilot how to turn and everything.
It would be nice.
No option.
It would be nice.
It's not ready though. It's not ready though, is it, Edison?
No, it's not ready. But there is no way to test the balance of big ships into Arena Commander at this time. The only way to test them is in the persistent universe.
I disagree. I know what you're saying about in terms of the multi-crew aspect. There's no way to test the multi-crew aspect. There is a way to test big ships. I mean, I've done it. We did it in 2.6 with my friend. We do it in 3.0. We do it with all the
you
ships.
Can fly them.
Free flight. You test them out. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
You can learn to fly them, but you cannot learn to fight with them yet.
Not with multi-crew. No. Multi-crew, yes, you cannot. But you can still learn to fly and dodge size 9 torpedoes in a retaliator or whatever. You can still learn to a degree. But when you talk about specifically learning to have the advantage of learning to crew up as a team, that would be sick. And I would love that to be in. But I mean, they still haven't got turrets working properly. So let's just one step at a time. But in terms of what you're saying,
but it's the idea.
What were you saying? You were saying, Moist, about Star Marine not having a training ground.
No, Arena Commander.
Arena Commander, sorry, because I thought you said Star Marine. I was interested in that.
Oh, I might have. I say things without thinking about them. You know.
I was just interested. It got me interested. I was thinking how cool it would be to have like a free area.
It would be awesome.
You can kind of do that in Star Marine in private match, can you? So that's kind of the way it works. You can do a private match and get your friends in and do stuff. Any more questions, Mac?
Yes. One more, I believe.
One more? Okay.
Since we know consumables for tying in fatigue mechanic will eventually be in game, for example, food, drink, booze, will there be craftables? What's the first thing you want to make? Now, talking about craftables, they did mention recently,
yes,
and I cannot remember what the whole thing. Edison, help me out. What was it about crafting?
Wait, sorry.
Crafting will get in game, but to start with, it will likely. Well, simply you can craft. Let's say you have a battery or a power relay at this moment that's into the power supply that arranges the power distribution of it, and let's say that breaks. The power relay, you can take it out and put a new one in the power plant, and technically seen is crafting, but I would not expect to be able to go and I'm gonna make a BLT sandwich right now because I have tomato, lettuce, and bread in my fridge. I would say first they're gonna focus on the important things, bacon, and the food and stuff like that is not as important, I assume, as actually ship components, like replacing one part of a bigger component.
Yeah,
that's what I see happening first. Like you have a giant power plant in something like an Idris. Well, most likely you will be able to replace parts of that, but that I think will be the first iterations. Or like bringing a specific material to a base where they, let's say, make missiles, and then you can deliver that to the base, and then let's say X amount of time later you can pick up some missiles as payment. But I don't see crafting being in anytime soon, at least not like you have
not soon at all. No.
No, I would say next year maybe.
What do you think, Sol?
I don't know. Let's fix all the first other things in the game before we're going to think about crafting, man.
But
You know
what
what I
was it?
mean?
What was it? I heard that crafting of spaceships. Was it Todd Puppy that was talking about it, or Sean talking about crafting to a? I really can't remember. And I know I spoke about it in one of my videos.
Wouldn't it be like? I think they've talked about it before. Like, you're not going to be able to build the ships, but you'll be able to potentially refine the parts for the ships or something like that. I wasn't sure if it's.
It was.
I mean, you're able to. Let's say you find a derelict ship and you find enough derelict parts, then in theory you should be able to craft the ship back together again. But I think that's like really far away. I wouldn't expect that to see that this year. Maybe not even the next year.
It might have been
craft. I think it would be a
Tony
weapon.
Z's interview.
I would craft a weapon, a samurai, a bladed melee weapon would be the first.
You're obsessed with these blades, aren't you?
Blades, all about ninja
Dark
blades.
Saber.
Or lightsaber.
Saber.
That would be pretty cool. The dark saber ones would be very cool. Or
Futuristic
attachments.
sex robots.
Attachments. Like a night scope.
Bless you.
Excuse me. No, I was waiting for that. A night scope, so I could actually see in the dark would be nice.
You don't need to see in the dark, man. Just walk towards the sound of the giant alien queen.
when we have NPCs that are on ground-based combat AI NPC, which they said is not too far away, we need to be able to see them because I don't want to be killed by them without being able to see them. That will really make me salty. Anyone else? Noodle?
Sorry, I was too busy playing with the puppy. What are we talking about?
What
If
would
you
you
could
like
craft-
to craft first?
If you could craft anything first, what would you craft?
Oh man.
Probably.
Pets. I'm not that keen on the idea of pets in the game, as crazy as it sounds.
He says beating his puppy.
But I'm not beating my
Shut
puppy, okay?
Shut up!
Disciplining her.
Animal abuse confirmed.
But a fishing rod, maybe. I'd love to go fishing. It's one of those things that I really enjoy. I chill out in game. Like in World of Warcraft, I would literally just go and sit for hours before a raid and fish, so I could take feasts for my friends. You know,
Black Desert Online is all about fishing.
I
Soul,
thank
showing
you.
me that.
In name of all of those people who don't want to fish,
Leave me out of
to
this.
get the feasts and all that stuff. Because I know how fucking hard it is. I know how much time it takes. But I'm just like, I'm the guy that just, oh, you guys need a tank? Yeah, sure, I will tank today. and the scary part is that every time I do, I'm like the best fucking tank they have. And they're like, can you tank next time too, please? And I'm like, if I have to.
You have madness visions.
Right then, guys. Mac, did you answer that already?
What would I craft?
Craft. Yeah, what would be the first thing you'd craft, buddy?
A working headphone.
Yeah, what about Luxton? Yeah, I don't know. Something industrial, something that would help me with earning more money in the game. Maybe just an FPS type of equipment, weapon attachment, something that I would use, because I love weaponry. As you know, I have this for when I'm in a bar fight. So if you smack
You
it
like to
against
glass
someone's head,
someone, yeah, is that what you
it works. Or you can get the bottle, turn it upside down. It also works. So a melee weapon, I think I would craft, like the West Stage sword.
Good. Yeah, like, we can have a sword fight. We can have, then Edison's going to come in with his dark bladed lightsaber, melt our swords, and be like, "No, damn you!"
When you say sword fight,
Well, hang on. Let's
that
clarify
conversation.
what we mean by sword fight.
Noodle.
What they mean is they're gonna spar with the swords together like this, and then I'm gonna come in, run in, and chop their heads off.
Oh, I'm still interested. That's
There will
absolutely
be a
fine.
few crossing of swords, I'm sure, at some point.
I've
got a
got
German guy that did that, and he ate the head afterwards.
I've got a banning merchantman that I need to fill. So you
won't
carry
eat
on,
the
Edison
head. I
Trent.
will just pick the head back up and bring them back to life, and then put them in my banner merchantman in the pit, you know, together throw the swords at them and say, "Fight for my amusement."
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Sword fight, you no, not with swords, you bastard. You know what I mean.
Honestly,
That's
people,
more like it.
you can't say anything in this world without somebody ruining it. That's all I'm saying. Somebody.
I'm
don't
gonna give
ruin
them
it.
two of those giant sticks, you know, with the fluffy
Romancing it
ends,
up.
and then they're gonna attack each other with them till the death.
Enhance it. Right then, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let's wrap this up. So, what's everyone up to, and where can we find you? So, Mac.
SuperMacbrothersRyan on Twitch, SuperMacBrothers on YouTube, SuperMacBrother on Twitter, just to confuse everyone. You bastards. I will be streaming tomorrow. We've swapped the Monday with the Tuesday stream, so instead of doing a long stream on a Monday, I do it now on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that. We've got to give away. I know we've got a Gladius. We have a Mustang package. We have two P52 Merlins, and I think two $10 gift cards as well, which is crazy.
Yeah, nice.
And a taunt if you reach 200.
I'll be attempting to win some of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, please.
I want to win a
get
$10
yourself in
gift
there.
card.
$10 for the win. But yeah, that's the streams. Streams are going to continue, and I'm going to be applying for partnership again soon. I'm going to run it by Redacted to say, tell me what I need to tell these bastards, because I need to get partnered.
Right.
YouTube, I've got this new series coming out, helping new players get into the game. I've also got a video coming out soon, which is to do with what cargo ship suits your needs. So small, medium, large, depending on what you plan to do. When StarCitzien works, Matt, we're looking at you. And yeah, that's kind of it. Other than that, I'll be attempting day 2 of yoga, which is always hilarious on my own. Rachel, I swear, laughs at me when I try it. I look like a right fucking idiot, but I'll try.
Can you get a video of that for me?
While the breathing.
Just any sort of bending, really.
In my joggers and tight-fitting t-shirt. Honestly, with the belly that I've got, it looks hideous.
I don't mind.
You would rather have it naked, but
and a
I'm not
xenomorph
gonna
next to
say
me.
it.
Get the xenomorph as well. Oh. Xenomorph yoga. Can you imagine that shit? What is? Oh. I missed that section.
Oh, never mind.
So much love going on right now. So much love. So much love. Edisontrent, where can we find you, sir? And what are you up to the rest of the week?
The rest of the week, well, tomorrow I am planning on streaming. I'm likely gonna stream Metro because, quite frankly, I'm a bit bored with doing the same trade runs. And you can find me on Twitch, EdisonTrent7112.
Let me get you.
And pretty much, I don't really have much planned for the rest of the week, so I'm thinking I'm gonna stream pretty much every day. And I think it will be about around 2 o'clock local time for me, so I think it's 3 o'clock GMT or something like that. So
2 o'clock local time is 1 o'clock here.
oh yeah.
Don't be
I
screwing
fuck, man,
the
it's
time
late
as
for
me,
me.
bastards.
He's helping
It's
him
late
out.
for me.
He's helping him out.
Mac,
Okay, so
don't worry, I'm
what
never
do
gonna
we
steal
chat?
your subs.
so where can we find you and what are you up to, mate, the rest of the week?
I'm working. I got three projects that I want to finish this week. They can find me on my Twitch/Soldotcreate on a daily basis again from a Tuesday until the Saturday evening, 8 p.m. British Standard Time, or on soldotcreate.com to confuse everyone.
We got it. A lot of name changes, but I'm sure.
There's a lot of names. There's lots of names in there. And the next person is Moist Noodle. Where can we find you? What are you up to this week?
So I'm trying to recover from a catastrophic SSD failure, which is a bit of a bitch. So I've been struggling to stream for the last week, but I'm almost there. I just need to sort my bot out, and then we're good to go again. I'm also kind of struggling with StarCitzien a little bit. The whole missing doors thing is grinding me down a bit. So I'm probably going to be playing a little bit of Escape from Tarkov. As well as trying to fit some StarCitzien in. But yeah, twitch.tv /moist_noodle. I'm also on Twitch, the Moist Noodle. Yeah, if you want to see, if you were really excited and turned on by my discussions of e-waste disposal and reuse and recycling, jump into my Discord channel. Just go to my Twitch channel, there's a link there, and I post lots of pictures of some cool stuff that we get in work every day, and yeah, there we go. That's that.
Good stuff. And you can find me here, Little Bit Madness. I'll be streaming as and when I can. I'm just crazy busy at the moment with real life sneaker designing, so yeah, it's just very, very busy. So, but I will stream as and when I can. But I will be doing Friday. We'll be doing Stout and Sturdy D&D session. I'm not sure what's the plan is for this Friday. If we're going to do like a training exercise live on the stream, just do lessons and teaching and whatever else. Because we've got a few people away, so. Just watch this space. Obviously, check out the Asylum YouTube channel, which will obviously update. If you've just jumped in and you like what you see or you want to see more of it, we'll have the Asylum YouTube channel. So I think it's Asylum FWG for Wayward Gamers. And so, yeah, just check out the content. We've got, like I said before, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming, hopefully as soon as we possibly can get things finished. We have obviously on my channel as well, we've got some merchandise. You can pick up some awesome t-shirts for Stout and Sturdy D&D, also for the Asylum, and for my channel a little bit and bob. So yeah, go check out some merchandise if you want something good. Otherwise, have a really great time. Thank you for joining us. You guys what make the show what it is. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang with us.
Thank you, everyone.
You guys are amazing. So, and also for the CIG people that take the time to come in and laugh at us, I think that's great. Really
that's the best bit.
I think that's the brilliant bit. I love that, and to laugh at each other as well, which I think is great. So, thank you all for coming, and we will see you again same time on Monday. Hopefully, we'll have some more great content.
You don't see us laughing with the stages.
Studio report, please. More studio reports and cool pictures. We have more to talk about.
Give us more information.
More
pretty things.
Pretty
stuff.
I just like the pretty pictures.
Give us the pretty pictures, please. I would do with, and yeah, here's till March. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. Who should we host? Should we host somebody? Actually,
yes.
Somebody. Who should we host?
Who should we host? Someone small, someone with nobody.
Prize.
Who does anyone recommend anyone?
Hang on, let's have a look.
Who's playing StarCitzien right now?
StarCitzien noob exploring inkling. This person speaking English. Hang on. He's a noob. Hang on.
Where's that?
Inkling. Is he even on? Is he even on? Is he even on?
No, there's literally nobody that I recognise.
Oh, here we go. Inkling. Here we go. He's not even talking. Let's say hello. Let's say hello. See if he picks up on it. He's American. Let's see if he says hello. Oh, this room is a one-day follower of... oh, no. Sorry, mate. Can't do that shit. Bye. What a mistake.
What did he say?
He's got one-day follower mode on chat.
Oh,
You got to have that stuff opened. You can't do that. That's just bad.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's just bad.
And he says following the PSU, which makes no sense.
There is a big... Do you know Big Benny?
So I guess like
Benny.
There's a StarCitzien streamer called Big Benny, but he's currently streaming Escape from Tarkov, not StarCitzien.
I know,
but he's a
Big
cool
Benny.
guy.
Yeah,
just host Moonshiners or something.
I got Tasbo. Hang on, he's
amazing
new.
things about this game is just the attention to detail.
Right, we're gonna go Tasbo. He's on his own. Let's just
nice
say hello.
and simple. StarCitzien.
Just check. He's nice and simple.
I have
Tasbo
no
28.
idea, man, I cannot find anyone.
Let's give him a
Streaming
raid.
it.
Let's just give him a raid. /raid, and it's Tasbo 28.
Should we give him a tropical surprise?
Yeah, we give him tropical surprises, ass cheeks, love hearts, Max, moist noodle dogs, whatever you want to throw at them. Just say it's the Asylum raid. Have a good one, guys. Have a great one. See you on Monday next week. Peace out.
Have a nice
now
night,
I just
man.
realised I've got to wait a fucking age for the raid to come down.
You
job,
douchebag.
man.
It's so good
fail.
ending, and now it's just
You should have
failed.
started it.
I
Oh,
know,
for
I should've.
goodness
Is it actually counting down for you though?
Yeah, probably. I think it is. Yeah, 37 raiders.
Sometimes it doesn't quite count
See,
down,
everyone's
so you have no
left now.
idea when you're going to be like suddenly cut off.
For goodness sake, madness.
Oh, Captain Kim,
One
far
job.
too late, mate.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
man.
Captain Kit. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, we're sorry, man, but
Next time.
it's
pad
like half two where I
requesting
live,
shit.
so I'm not
I
gonna
think
stay
we've
long.
gone. I
it's just
think
on,
we've
it's just
gone. It's
Yeah,
done.
we're gone.
Yeah, we've gone.
Seems to like
Oh, beautiful.
not.
Fine, where's
See,
my
it's
button?
kind of nice that you get like the countdown for that raid, but when it glitches and you have no time bar going, you're like, God, I have no idea when I'm going to just suddenly disappear. I'm going to keep talking until I disappear, and it you never know what's going to happen.
Make it. We will make it. We're
Edison?
venturing
Yeah.
to nowhere right
Did
now,
you
right
just
now.
whack yourself in the nose
Oh man, I wish
with
I
the
could
microphone
chat,
there?
'cause then I can have.
No, the
Somebody
microphone
drop
is
me off.
way in front of my face.
What
man.
I saw you pull
what
it.
I love
I
what
saw-
these is they
Oh, you
just
mean
don't
this?
fucking look at
Yeah.
chat.
Get the shit.
He's
Makes
slowly
me
noticing, I think.
Like it looks like it whacks me in the face, but it doesn't.
Yeah, okay. That's
Oh,
not as
it
fun.
sucked, man.
And for you, that if you want, you can pretend it hit me in the face.
It did. Okay, in my head it did. Ha ha ha!
It's not that I don't enjoy it, but I think I'm going to bed, man, because like
Damn it.
I
my
need
screen's
to
not
start working at 4 o'clock.
Go.
That's so rude.
Thank you, man. Thanks for hanging out.
I
Edison.
don't think it's rude, Mac.
stay
Fuck off.
yeah,
It's
it's
like 2 hours of sleep for
You
me.
Netherlanders. So rude.
And not everyone lives above his work.
Where are our flowers?
In the backyard, the roses are flowering right
He
now.
Somebody.
has flowers in the basement on the attic as well.
Leadership,
In
please.
the basement and the
No,
attic?
no. I don't grow
Right.
flowers on the basement.
Man,
That's
pretty
the neighbor
check that
3
out.
doors over.
It's just
Oh,
so
you can give me the
beautiful.
address.
This guy's
Right,
fucking
right.
hilarious.
It's amazing.
Hello!
Hello,
Alright.
moron! You've just been raided by like the top streamer of the evening.
All right, let's get.
Yo!
Wakey
To be
wake.
fair,
Boys,
like
I'm
when you
going to
have
bed.
when you have no viewers for hours and hours and hours, it's like you tend not to.
It's like a professional athlete. You should always be ready.